What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
6BH. Chapter 131 Check in again. Kagura's eyes. 2 more. Advertisement. After the breeze showed an astonishing chakra outbreak. The elders of the Namibia no longer doubted the strength of Hefeng, and handed over the personal safety of the daimyo to Hefeng. And the following days are also easy. The ninja who assassinated the daimyo did not appear, and the maritime transportation policy was implemented smoothly. Without knowing it, the cooling time of the clock-in system was over again. The cooling time of the check-in system is over. Close black lens bracket. Please confirm with the host, do you check in? Close black lens bracket. It's a happy time to check in again. Hearing familiar voices in my mind, the gentle mood also becomes better. This voice is damn sweet. You know, the reason why Hefeng can grow so quickly, in just 3 months, he was promoted to special shinobu. The punch card system is indispensable. Therefore, Hefeng deliberately handed the daimyo's escort work to Rijin and others, found a secluded place by himself, and began to punch in this time. Start clocking in. Hefeng continues to check in. Check in successfully. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to the host for getting the punch-in package. Close black lens bracket. Whether to open the package. Close black lens bracket. With regard to the clock-in process, Hefeng has long been familiar with it. He clasped his hands together, chanting the iconic lines. I would like to exchange Uchiha's 10-year lifespan for a European emperor bloodline. Hefeng's heart becomes calmer. From the perspective of him now, no matter what rewards are drawn from the gift package, he is very open. If it's a good thing, naturally rejoice. On the contrary, it doesn't matter. It's normal that I've been there so many times before, and occasionally if I'm not a chief. After all, no one can always draw SSR. Open the package to open. Close black lens bracket. The sweet voice sounded again, various rewards flashed in front of the wind, and finally shone white when it stopped. Congratulations to the host, get Kagura Heart ILV1 from the check-in package. Close black lens bracket. Zefeng. What is Kagura Shinyen, the king of fighters 97? No, is there this ninjutsu in Naruto? The strong light dissipated, and the breeze looked stunned. He really didn't have any impression of this thing called Kagura Shinyen. Kazuka frowned and looked at Kagura's heart-warming explanation. One of the abilities of the Maelstrom family, closing the eyes, can open the eyes of the heart and perceive abnormal conditions within a radius of 5 kilometers. If you identify someone as chakra, you can also perceive the location and movement. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. The ability of the Whirlpool clan. Hefeng blinked and watched the introduction about Kagura's heart that appeared in his mind. He suddenly remembered the figure of a young girl. No one else, just Shang Rin. Although there is no Whirlpool in her name, she is a descendant of the Whirlpool clan. So, Kagura's mind is Shang Rin's ability to perceive. Hefeng suddenly realized, although this ability is not considered to be one of ninjutsu, illusion, or physical skills, it can't cause damage to the enemy. But, this ability is very useful, whether it is chasing the enemy or escaping from the enemy's pursuit. When Sasuke captured Yao in Yunlei Gorge, if it hadn't been for Shang Rin to use this ability to lock Kurabi's position, he had escaped as early as halfway. Moreover, Hefeng feels that the time to acquire this ability is also very good. Today, he is in charge of the escort of the daimyo of Poland. Once the ninja is found, confirm his chakra attributes. You can lock it with Kagura's mind. Make him hard to fly. Sure enough, I am a European emperor. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Through this check-in, Hefeng recognized this fact again. No way, he didn't want to be like this. He also wants to be a non-chief. Helpless. Blood lineage is not allowed. Test the ability of Kagura Minami. Hefeng slowly closed his eyes, activated the power of Kagura's heart, and observed the situation within a radius of 5 kilometers. Soon, he determined the location and behavior of Sun Zan and others. Although Kagura's heart and eye level of the Japanese style is only LV1, not as strong as the later stage Shangrong, but it is quite easy to use. The conditions of the surrounding 5 kilometers were all instantly grasped by the gentle wind. Today, the daimyo is making a speech, explaining the many benefits and conveniences of maritime transportation to the civilians in Poland. And many more. Suddenly, Hefeng frowned. Just when he fully utilized the ability of Kagura's heart and eyes, an unusually powerful chakra entered the range of his perception. Better than the chakra of Sun Slash. And, this chakra is full of chill. To make matters worse, the ninja who owns this chakra is quickly approaching the name of the country of Nami. If the guess is correct, I am afraid this person is the ninja hired to assassinate the daimyo. Then, advertisement. Hefeng quickly opened his eyes, kicked his legs, exploded his muscle strength, and rushed over from the spot. Just when the daimyo was excited to tell the people the blueprint for the future, the gentle wind rushed in front of her. The result was the same as Hefeng expected. 2 kunai flew towards him. Of course, these 2 Kuu naturals are not used to deal with gentle winds. Its real goal is the name behind him. This sudden scene frightened everyone. Rizan et al. Guard the samurai Kirby, including the name of the country of Poland. They all opened their eyes wide, and stared at the breeze incredibly. No one expected that the assassinated ninja would suddenly appear. Moreover, they did not even think of the person who would prevent the other party from attacking in the first round. It turns out to be a gentle breeze. Everyone, be careful, protect your name. Rizan reacted first and quickly yelled at his companions. Mirror, Yan, Danzo, and Xiaochun then nodded in hindsight, and then set up a posture according to their pre-designed formation, guarding the daimyo among them. Then beware of changes around you. The people of Poland never dreamed that the ninja would carry out assassination operations in such broad daylight. For a while, I was worried that it would affect myself, and they all hugged their heads. No one stood up to protect the daimyo. Hefeng sees this picture in his eyes. I don't know if this is considered an old tradition in Poland. In the future, when Cardo was rampant, they would not dare to stand up and resist, silently enduring all the evil deeds KB had done. Even people who feel that they are brave enough to get ahead are abnormal. For a country, this is the greatest sorrow. Even after 40 or 50 years, their descendants will not blame capital or complain about those who deprive others. Just hate them, and don't even have the courage to resist. Silently endure being exploited by capital. Click. He blew to the ground and stood firm. The two kunai that flew over were knocked to the ground by him. Thanks, thank you. The daimyo rolled his throat, his eyes noticed the kuu lying on the ground. She reacted immediately. If it's not a gentle breeze, take it in time. I'm afraid I already died. Chapter 132. It only takes a few seconds and I am fast 3 more. Advertisement. When the wind hit the ground, he looked forward, locked and threw out the ninja of kunai. Hefeng was even ready to catch the opponent's location and the direction of escape with Kagura's eyes at any time. However, the ninja who shot at the daimyo didn't take advantage of the chaos to escape. Instead, stand in front of the wind. A surprised expression appeared on his face, and at the moment he shot it, he had imagined countless possibilities. But he did not expect that a child of 6 or 7 years old would be able to withstand his attack. Just kidding. He stared slightly, looking up and down the wind, and noticed the Konoha logo on his forehead strapped to his left shoulder. It is Konoha's ninja, and when he noticed Hefeng also saw him. This guy is. Hefeng blinked, and a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes. The ninja in front of him has long yellow hair and a black silk belt around his waist, which is lined with a green autumn coat. And no eyebrows. Surprisingly, it is the famous second-generation water shadow in Wuyin village. Ghost Lantern Moon. It turned out to be a Ghost Lantern Magic Moon. Even if it was a gentle breeze, I was slightly surprised. Although he had told the name of the country of waves before, as long as her money is in place, even if Shui Ying comes, don't even think of hurting her hair. Result. The person who came turned out to be Shui Ying. What I said, do you want to be so effective? Hefeng couldn't help but complain about himself. However, according to the current timeline, the Ghost Lantern Moon should not be the shadow of the Misty Village. Zuma and Uchiha Madara had been in Konoha for 8 years, and a decisive battle broke out in the Valley of End. At that time, the pillars took advantage of the situation to seal the 9 tails and brought them back to the village. After that, he started collecting tail beasts. So the 5 shadows talks should have happened in recent years. And the people who participated in the talks were all first-timers. It looks like it should be the first generation of Shui Ying, who has appointed Ghost Lantern Wanu to assassinate the name of the nation of waves. After some analysis, Hefeng felt that this should be the case. However, it seems that Ghost Lantern Wanu is not a teenage child, but an adult uncle. This also means that his strength is likely to be at the peak of his heyday. No wonder he didn't run away after losing his shot in the first round. Advertisement. With his strength, he does have enough capital to stand there. For Ghost Lantern Wanu, assassination missions are something. Where do you need to be careful? Can we just kill all the people who saw it? As long as no survivor sees himself, it is a successful assassination. Who is it? How dare you attack the great name of the country of Poland? Suddenly, a samurai yelled at Ghost Lantern Wanu, drew out the katana with both hands, and rushed towards the opponent. Attempt to destroy the ninja in front of him with a slash. But the next second, the corner of Gui Lan Yu's mouth raised, smiled slightly, and at the same time he raised his right hand like a pistol, and shot a bullet-like liquid from his index finger. Surprisingly, it is the secret technique of the Ghost Lamp clan. The art of water iron cannon. Whoosh. The bullet-like liquid shot at the left chest of the samurai, and a blood hole penetrated through it. Kill him instantly. Thump. The samurai stared at the Ghost Lantern Wanu with wide eyes, staring at the Ghost Lantern, swinging his sword at him, but he couldn't reach it. In the end, his body leaned forward and fell to the ground, blood gushing out from his wound, spreading into a pool of blood. Kirby stared at his companion's corpse blankly, his brain felt blank. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The dead samurai is one of the best masters in the whole country of Nami. Strength is not below oneself. Result. He couldn't even take a single move from the enemy. Is this the strength of a ninja? Kirby rolled his throat and swallowed nervously. When he looked at the Ghost Lantern Magic Moon again, he felt a desperate breath from his body. The man standing in front of him is not a ninja at all. It's an evil spirit, a demon from the abyss of hell. The atmosphere is depressing. None of the samurai, including Kirby, dared to rush to fight the Ghost Lantern Wanu. Thump. The daimyo behind Hefeng sat paralyzed on the ground. She only glanced at the eyes of Ghost Lantern Wanu, and felt that she had been thrown into the cliff. Unprecedented despair shrouded. She was overwhelmed with breath. Before and after 2 or 3 could not breathe, big beads of sweat appeared on her forehead, and the clothes behind her were wet. Although the daimyo worked hard and was strong, But in the final analysis, she was just a little girl of 15 or 16. Faced with such a terrifying powerhouse as Ghost Lantern Wanu, it is not a strange thing to be frightened and paralyzed at once. Advertisement. Rest assured, Hefeng noticed the situation of the daimyo, and he turned his head and showed a smile. I won't let him kill you. Seeing Hefeng smile, the daimyo felt that fear and despair was relieved a little. She took a deep breath, nodded slightly, and chose to believe in peace. I don't know why, Hefeng is obviously just a 7-year-old kid. However, the thought of him by his side protects himself. The daimyo will feel at ease. Actually, if it wasn't a gentleman just now, make a timely move. The kunai of the Ghost Lantern and Moon will kill the daimyo in seconds. This is a consensus reached by everyone present. Include Ghost Lantern Wanu himself. He looked around. In addition to the Japanese wind, several ninjas from Konoha village were also gathered here. It's just that the person who discovered his attack and blocked it. It was a 7-year-old kid. If it weren't for the gentle breeze, just now, I would have succeeded. Ghost Lantern Wanu said with a smile, without paying attention to Hefeng and others at all. Hey, brother, he must complete it anyway. Ghost Lantern Wanu couldn't help but think to himself. It only takes a few seconds, I'll be fast. Ghost Lantern Wanu stepped forward, approaching the gentle breeze, spreading his hands at the same time, looking harmless to humans and animals. However, the Ghost Lantern Moon makes no difference to the geniuses who eradicate other people's homes. But you, can you give up this assassination mission? If Hefeng is given enough time to grow up, his future achievements will probably not be lost to Konoha's shadow. Hefeng met the sight of Ghost Lantern Wanu, and shook his head without hesitation. She is the gold master this time. For the sake of money, I can't let you pass. He came here for only one purpose, that is, to solve the name of the country of waves. Although in the Warring States period, there were many children who were put on the battlefield at the age of 4 or 5, but, this is the first time I have seen a kid with such strength at this age. This is the task that the first generation Shuiying Balian personally gave him. That little girl is my uncle's target. Can you please let me please? Of course not. Seeing that the wind did not show any weakness, Gui Lan Yu had no choice but to shook his head. If this is the case, then I can only kill you all. This guy is gold. Chapter 133 Face the Ghost Lantern Moon. 4 more. Advertisement. Be careful, he breathes, this guy is very dangerous. Rijin reminded him. He had never seen such a terrible chakra. The strength of the ninja in front of him should not be underestimated. Moreover, this is different from previous actual combat exercises. This is a real fight. If you are not careful, you will be killed by the other party. Fog Hidden Village is a ninja village that is famous for not hesitating to fight to the death. In the field of assassination, their ninjas are extremely good. Uchiha Mirror shared the information he knew. Moreover, if it hadn't been for the gentle breeze, it would be timely. I'm afraid Ghost Lantern Wanu will succeed. As the guards of the daimyo, none of them reacted. This is enough to prove the strength of Ghost Lantern Magic Moon. Far surpassing all of them. In fact, it is true. Except for Sarutobi Hizen, there is basically no ninja who can wrestle with the Ghost Lantern and the Moon. In addition, it had to be the Sarutobi Hizen who reached the peak of his heyday in the future. At this stage, Sun Zan couldn't fight Ghost Lantern Wanu at all. Don't take action, this is not an enemy you can deal with. Hefeng said in a low voice, his expression became serious, protect Daming. While talking, Hefeng took a step forward. Regarding the Ghost Lantern Moon, Hefeng has far more information than the Sun and others. Speaking of which, Wuyin Village's secrecy policy is truly extraordinary. Even the ninjas in their village do not know what ninjutsu has been mastered and what abilities Shuiying possessed. In other words, Rizan and others know nothing about Ghost Lantern Magic Moon. Once the two sides fight each other, they will be extinct without exception. Fortunately, the check-in package just now caught the eyes of Kagura. Otherwise, I really don't know how to deal with the psychic beasts of the Ghost Lantern and the Moon. Hefeng thought to himself. The gas steaming pavilion is to spit out a wide range of thick fog through large clams, creating a mirage, and transforming into a Ghost Lantern and Moon avatar, so as to confuse the enemy. As long as you are in the gas steaming pavilion, you can't attack the body of Ghost Lantern Wanu. Any attack caused by ninjutsu will be neutralized. Thinking of this, Hefeng glanced at Sarutobi Hizen. Although Sun has the ability to perceive chakra, in the face of the Ghost Lamp and the Moon, whether his ability can play a role. The breeze is not clear. In addition, Sarutobi Rishi's perception ability was still not as good as that of the Uzumaki clan. No matter from which angle you think. At this time, he can get the ability of Kagura's heart from the punch card package. They are all possessed by the Emperor. Advertisement. Suddenly, Ghost Lantern Huan Yu launched an action. He raised his hands at the same time, like a pistol, shooting liquid toward the breeze. Whoosh, whoosh. The liquid pierced through the air like a bullet, shooting towards the wind. Although Ghost Lantern Wanu has no interest in destroying other people's gold, but for the ninja who stood in front of him and prevented him from completing the task, he has nothing to talk about. Brother, it looks like you are only 7 years old. It's really a shame to die in such a place. Ghost Lantern Wanu uses the most ruthless technique to say the words that are most worried about gentleness. But Hefeng is not a good role to deal with. Seeing the Ghost Lantern Wanu shot, Hefeng decisively opened the 8-door Dunjia. The third door, the life door, open. In an instant, the breeze's skin changed from white to red, and green energy radiated from all over his body. His strength and speed have all been doubled. The two liquids shot at him also became slow in his perspective. Call out. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The gentle breeze disappeared instantly in place. The ghost lantern and moon's water iron cannon technique shoots directly into the air, gallops forward, and finally falls into the wall next to the street, with two holes running through it, both front and rear bright. Ghost lantern Wanu suddenly widened his eyes, and an incredible expression appeared on his face. He never thought of it. A child of 6 or 7 years old not only escaped his family secrets. I even disappeared in front of myself. This kind of thing is too unbelievable. This little brother, it's not easy to deal with. Hefeng appeared in front of him as soon as the voice fell. Without any hesitation, Hefeng clenched his fists and aimed at the gate of Ghost Lantern Wanu. Soon, the gentle breeze condensed the chakra between the pillars into his own hands, and exploded out with strange power. Cherry blossoms. A punch shook the air, forming a terrifying air current, spreading out in all directions. The ground at the foot of the Japanese wind and Ghost Lantern Moon was shattered layer by layer, printing out cracks like spider webs. The flying rock rolled. Everyone present was stunned. Especially the daimyo of the country of Nami, the samurai. Advertisement. They all stared with wide open eyes, and no one thought that the 7-year-old Zephyr could have such a terrifying power. With this punch, I am afraid that it will kill the Ghost Lantern Wanu. However, just when everyone thought that Hefeng's punch could kill the Ghost Lantern Magic Moon in seconds on the spot, his fist suddenly penetrated through Ghost Lantern Huanyu's head. Then, Ghost Lantern Wanyu's body began to lose its color and became transparent at a speed visible to the naked eye. The touch of the wind has also changed accordingly. It seems that I am not hitting people. It's more like hitting a waterfall directly. Yes, it is. Today's Ghost Lantern Moon is like a waterfall. This is. Hefeng constricted his pupils, and saw the Ghost Lantern Phantom Moon, turning into a puddle of clear water, spilling on the ground. Surprisingly, it is the same ability as Ghost Deng Shuiyu. Wrong. Hefeng shook his head. It should be said that it is Ghost Lantern Shuiyu, possessing the same ability as Ghost Lantern Huanyu. Although Ghost Lantern Wanyu did not use this ability in the Fourth Ninja World War, it is not strange that he, as a Ghost Lantern clan, knows the technique of hydration. At the same time, this also means that one's own physical attack. Basically, it can't hurt the Ghost Lantern Moon. The Ghost Lantern turned into a liquid moon, quickly retreating, and distanced itself from the breeze. The clear water rises and gradually changes into the outline of a Ghost Lantern and moon. Call. Ghost Lantern Wanyu once again appeared in front of Hefeng, but kept a distance of nearly 10 meters from him. What a terrible power. If it wasn't for me to use the hydration technique in time, the punch just now would be really not a joke. Ghost Lantern Wanyu couldn't help but complain, it's dangerous, it's dangerous. In fact, this is not a mockery. Rather, Ghost Lantern Wanyu really sensed danger when he fisted in the wind. It's still particularly dangerous. Danger. If it weren't for seeing it with his own eyes, Ghost Lantern Wanyu would not believe it. In the ninja world, there would be such a terrible existence as Hefeng. And many more. Suddenly, Gui Lan Huanyu's eyes widened, and he suddenly discovered the position where Hefeng whose forehead was tied. Covered a family crest. That shape. Gui Lan Huanyu blinked his eyes and said, is it Sen no Chisho? Chapter 134 What Big Clam, a punch 5 more. Advertisement. When he saw the family emblem on Hefeng's left shoulder, Gui Deng Huanyu instantly stared. That family emblem is really too famous. Mori no Sensho. To be more precise, it was the Senjujuma that ended the Warring States period, put down the troubled times, and established Shinjuku village. Too famous. In the entire ninja realm, no one knows, no one knows. All people who have seen Senjujuma think that he is the god of ninjas. The ninja closest to the 6 immortals. Even Ghost Lantern Huanyu, they all have respect and awe of the name Sensho Zujian. Even the first generation of Shui Ying Balian said that when performing tasks. Once you encounter the Sensho Zujian, you can directly abandon the task. Avoid unnecessary sacrifices. It can be seen that even the shadows of the various shinobu villages are very afraid of the existence of this person. Hello, brother, Konoha's original Hokage, what does it have to do with you? Gui Lan Huanyu couldn't help but speak, wanting to know the relationship between Hefeng and Zhu. Although there are many ninjas in this world, they are truly powerful, ninjas who can leave their names in the ninja world. They are often of family origin. Even, it is in the same line. Such things as descent really determine too many things. Seeing the wind now, Ghost Lantern Wanyu couldn't help but connect him with Zujian. This little brother, shouldn't he be the grandson of the original Hokage? Ghost Lantern Wanyu rolled his throat, thinking to himself. In his opinion, only an identity like the grandson of the pillars can explain the strength of Hefeng and why it is so terrible. Obviously only 7 years old, he has mastered such a terrifying power. It is no exaggeration to say that if you replace it with other ninjas in the hidden village, you will perform this assassination ninja. The one just met, he will definitely be killed by the wind. Yes it is. Hefeng's fist brought such an intuitive feeling to Ghost Lantern Huanyu. Except for the technique of hydration, he couldn't even think of a way to deal with the wind. Hefeng dropped his feet on the ground, observing the Ghost Lantern and the moon. Hefeng felt that there was no need to conceal his question. I am the grandson between the pillars. Sure enough. Ghost Lantern Wanyu took a deep breath, although he had guessed the answer, but when he confirmed it. He was still surprised. Brother, your strength is the most terrifying of all the ninjas I have ever encountered. You fellow, there is no doubt that it is definitely gold. Advertisement. So, it's uncle, I can only kill you here. In an instant, Gui Deng Huan Yu's eyes became fierce, and his murderous aura swept toward the gentle wind. He bit his thumb in one bite, and then made a seal with his hands. Psychic. Seeing the breeze, he moved quickly. Although Hefeng thought of several ways to deal with the ghost lantern Huan Yu Big Clam, there is no doubt that the safest one is to prevent him from using spiritism. Soon, the gentle breeze flashed again in front of ghost lantern Huan Yu, and a whip leg swept toward his neck. For Hefeng, his physical attacks do not need to be effective. As long as it can force the hydration technique of the ghost lamp in the moon, it is enough to interrupt his psychic process. However, Hefeng still underestimated the tactical experience of ghost lantern Huan Yu. With one blow, the whip leg swept out and slammed directly into the air. The ghost lantern with no brows disappeared in front of the wind. Although my uncle is not as fast as you, but there are as many ways to avoid the physical skills of my brother. Just when Hefeng was about to succeed, ghost lantern Huan Yu directly used the instantaneous technique. Flashed to the other side. At the same time, he also completed the last step of Jayan. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi psychicism. Ghost lantern Huan Yu slapped his palm to the ground, and a cloud of white mist exploded in front of him and spread out. And under his feet, a huge clam appeared out of thin air. This is the size of the big clam, at least dozens of times the size of the ghost lantern moon. The outer shell is so hard that even the endurance can't break through the defense. Brother, you have already lost. Ghost lantern Huan Yu stood on top of the big clam, looking down at the gentle breeze condescendingly. In his opinion, he failed to stop his use of spiritism and the only chance was lost. How to say, my uncle has always liked gold. But it's a pity that the guy from the original Naruto shouldn't let you perform this task. If the little brother grows up, given time, he will definitely be able to leave a reputation in the shinobi world. However, when you meet this uncle, you won't have a future, brother. Ghost lantern Huan Yu said with a relaxed face. The gentle physical skill surprised him. But this kind of physical skill alone can't deal with him. Magical steaming pavilion. The big clam at the foot of ghost lantern Huan Yu moved its tentacles, spewing out thick fog, spreading to the surroundings, and the range was extremely exaggerated. Immediately afterwards, the body of the big clam began to become transparent. Advertisement. Finally disappeared under the feet of ghost lantern Huan Yu. And he fell to the ground from midair and stood firm. The thick mist spit out by the big clam scattered and spread around until it disappeared completely. Rizan and others stared at the ghost lantern moon with their eyes widened. From their perspective, ghost lantern Huan Yu seemed to have done nothing. But, no one really thinks so. Ghost lantern moon must have used some incredible ninjutsu with the big clam just now. Thinking of this, Uchiha Mirror immediately opened the writing wheel, and then threw a handful of kunai to the heart of ghost lantern Huan Yu. Whoosh. Kumoji flew straight past. As a result, in the face of Uchiha Mirror's attack, ghost lantern Yu stood in place. No dodge, and no defense. He didn't even look at Uchiha's attack. Next second, this Kuwu directly passed through his body without causing any harm. Rizan and others stared wide-eyed. I don't know the situation. What did Ghost Lantern Moon do? It's useless. Gui Lan Huan Yu satisfactorily admired everyone's expressions. Enjoy the feeling of the moment. He likes this kind of feeling most, others can't see through his ninjutsu. And, from now on, all attacks by Hefeng and others will be neutralized. I only need to kill them slowly, and then solve the name of the country of waves. This task can be successfully completed. Yes, it was successfully completed. Lack of sufficient information for himself, Ghost Lantern Huan Yu really couldn't think of it. These Konoha ninjas in front of them, what can they do to crack the big clams? Non-existent. However, just when Ghost Lantern Huan Yu was about to launch an action to wipe out everyone present. Behind him, there was a loud noise. He was shocked, and quickly looked back. What caught your eye was 7-year-old Zephyr. He accurately found the location of the big clam, used his strange power, and threw his punch down. Rumble. Chapter 135 One Face to Face, Smash the Big Clam. One more. Advertisement. The gas steaming pavilion of the Ghost Lantern and Moon can create a large-scale mirage, forming a special illusion. In order to hide the real body. The reason why Sun Slash and others' attacks are invalid is not that Ghost Lantern Huan Yu has the ability to be immune to physical attacks. It was just another Ghost Lantern under the illusion state. In other words, Rizan and others did not attack Ghost Lantern Huan Yu's body from the very beginning. If you don't know anything about Ghost Lantern Huan Yu, his ability is really tricky. Hefeng took a deep breath, recalling the information about the Ghost Deng Yu. If you want to get rid of the gas steaming pavilion of the Ghost Deng Yu, you must find the big clam that he psyched up. Thinking about it this way, it feels like a destiny to draw Kagura's eyes at this moment. Taking advantage of the attention of Ghost Lantern Huan Yu was restrained by Sun Slash and others. Hefeng half squatted on the ground, stretched out 2 fingers, pressed them on the ground, closed his eyes, and activated the perception ability of Kagura's hard eyes. Moment. The wind locked the position of the Ghost Lantern Moon and the big clam. At the moment when the ninjutsu of Chi Steaming Pavilion was launched, Ghost Lantern Huan Yu controlled the big clam and then withdrew to Hachijong Yuan. Although the shell of the big clam is very hard, the various ninjas thrown by the ninja allied forces cannot cause damage to it. But, the Hefeng's 8-door Dunjia plus the power of the strange power is not comparable to the destructive power of the endurance tool. The technique of instantaneous body. After locking the big clam through the perception ability, Hefeng disappeared in place and flashed onto the back of the big clam. Although from his perspective, there is nothing under his feet. But the breeze is very certain. Big clams, right here. Cherry blossoms. I saw the Japanese-style 5 fingers grasping, aiming at the back of the big clam, and slamming it down. Rumble. With a loud noise, the back of the big clam cracked layer by layer, and the cracks covered the entire shell. The majestic external force transformed into an impact, poured into the body of the big clam, shattering all its organs. Although the outer shell of the big clam is very hard, the inside of it is quite the opposite. One face, the gentle breeze will bring out the mirage of the ghost lamp and the moon, and kill it on the spot. Bang! A cloud of white mist burst out under the gentle wind. The big clam died suddenly on the spot. Together with the mirage it created, disappeared together. The ghost lantern Wanu that held back Rizin and others gradually became transparent until it disappeared. Gone. Is it an illusion? Rizan and the others suddenly realized it, and only then did they figure out the ability of the ghost lantern to turn to the moon. The thick fog just now created a large-scale illusion, which deceived their vision. Advertisement. Moreover, this kind of illusion is quite powerful. Even Uchiha Mirror's writing wheel eyes could not see through the flaws of the ghost lantern magic moon technique. Did Hefeng relieve this technique? Rizan took a breath and said subconsciously. Yeah, Uchiha Koji nodded affirmatively. Just when Hefeng captured the real body of the big clam, his writing wheel eyes just noticed this detail. He witnessed the scene of a large clam being crushed by the wind. It seems that Hefeng should have solved the opponent's psychic beast, and thus solved this illusion. Jing said analytically. The others suddenly realized. However, the method of disarming the steamed pavilion sounds very simple, but in practice, it is extremely difficult. I just used my perception ability, but I couldn't confirm the location of the big clam. How did Hefeng do it? Rizan couldn't help taking a breath. Is it possible that the breeze have a stronger perception than yourself? Click. Hefeng retreated to Hizen's side, just confirmed the position of the big clam with his perception ability, and then hit it with a punch. It's nothing difficult. It's nothing difficult. Rizin and Kagami looked at Hefeng's back together, and couldn't help but complain. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. If it's not difficult, it depends on who it is. The two of them have nothing to do with the ability of the ghost lantern to magic the moon. Whether it's Sun/'s perception ability, or Mirror's writing round eyes. Can't find the big clam. Not to mention Danzo and others. If it weren't for the gentle breeze, they would probably explain it here today. In addition, Sarutobi Hazaki wanted to know how Hefeng determined the position of the big clam. Just use your perception ability to find the big clam, Sun/, can't you feel it? Hefeng glanced, as if to say, don't you forget that you can perceive chakras. Rizan's face became extremely ugly. He has been perceiving chakra, he hasn't stopped. And many more. Can you perceive chakra? Rizin was a little surprised. He clearly remembered that Hefeng couldn't perceive chakra. Well, I just learned it. Hefeng said without thinking. What the hell this is? Rizan and others looked at each other. Can you just learn the ability to perceive chakra? Just kidding. Advertisement. But, except for this reason, Sunzan couldn't think of another way to lock the big clam. And the ghost lantern Wanu standing on the opposite side of them was stunned. The big clam has always been his own unique skill. Through the ninjutsu of Kai steaming the pavilion, he solved one powerful enemy after another. And, because of Wuyin Village's secrecy policy, his ninjutsu secret cannot be leaked out. As a result, the big clam was stunned all at once. Still by a 7-year-old kid. It's in seconds. Even a ninja with great resilience is impossible to achieve this level. What kind of monster is this guy? Ghost Lantern Wanu stared at the wind with a ferocious face, and for a time only felt a fiery pain in her face. I thought this was a ninjutsu that could end everything. Result. It's been less than 10 seconds to psychically produce big clams, and it's gone. Even if this little brother is the grandson of the original Hokage, his strength is too outrageous. And his ability to analyze on the spot. I just feel that the ninjas I met before were all idiots, rice buckets. Including none of that guy. Ghost Lantern Wanu patted his face, he didn't even dream of it. He has been in the ninja world for so many years. It would have been deflated on a 7-year-old kid. When I played against Wu for the first time, he took a lot of effort to break my chi steaming pavilion. Ghost Lantern Wanu's heart began to freak. He suddenly discovered that he most recognized the man. It's incomparable to Hefeng, a 7-year-old kid. At the same time, this is not the same as saying. Myself. Also an idiot. Rice bucket. No. Thinking of this, Gui Lan Huan Yu's forehead burst into blue veins. He had to get rid of the little devil Hefeng no matter what. Even if, use that, I didn't expect that my Ghost Lantern and Moon, against a 7-year-old kid from Konoha, would be forced to use this technique. While talking, Ghost Lantern Wanyu's hands were sealed. Steaming dangerously. Chapter 136 Steam the Danger and Violence. 2 more. Advertisement. If possible, Ghost Lantern Wanyu doesn't want to use the ninjutsu. Although this ninjutsu is powerful and very tricky, it is his strongest ninjutsu. But, the weakness of this ninjutsu is very obvious. Once used, one's own body will enter a state of weakness. It is easy to be resolved by the other party. However, what makes Gaidong Wanu have to admit is that even though Hefeng is only 7 years old, he is the most difficult one among the ninjas he has encountered. Even Ghost Lantern Wanu felt that he had previously met the ninja of Yanyan village. No, this man who was most recognized by him could not be compared with Hefeng. And let him admit that a 7-year-old kid is better than himself. It is more uncomfortable than what others call him a mustache. Bang! Along with a loud noise, an explosion occurred in front of Ghost Lantern Wanu. The steam rolled upwards, covering the entire sky, and a strange smile appeared. And the body of Ghost Lantern Moon then disappeared directly in place. That's. Danzo's eyes widened, and the moment the steam exploded, he only felt his head buzzing. Then, hail fell from the sky. As a traverser, Zefeng instantly recognized the ninjutsu used by Ghost Lantern Huan Yu. It is his famed stunt. Steam the danger and violence. Even the second generation Tukajmu feels tricky ninjutsu. Hefeng's eyes narrowed slightly, staring at the weird smiling face floating in the air. In fact, the reason why the second generation Toying was wrapped with bandages all over his body. It's not his hobby. But in his early years, he had a fight with Ghost Lantern Wanu. His body was burned extensively by the violent power of the Ghost Lantern, and he had to wrap his whole body with a bandage. Speaking of which, during the Five Shadows talks, Wu was the first generation Toying's guard who attended the meeting. At that time, he was already bandaged. This can be seen. Ghost Lantern Wanu and Wu's first encounter should be before the 5 ninja villages signed a peace agreement. And when they met for the second time, they all died together. However, since he has encountered Ghost Lantern Wanu here, he has no chance to die with nothing. There was a murderous intent in Hefeng's eyes. This is not a battlefield. Advertisement. The conflict between the two parties came from the commission issued by the Polish country. Wanu and I are both to complete the mission of the village. Due to accidental death during the mission, that can only show that the strength of Ghost Lantern Wanu is not enough. Thinking of this, a murderous aura exuded from Hefeng's body. Ghost Lantern Huan Yu is now not a water shadow, but just the shinobu of Wuyin village. Even if he killed him, Shui Ying did not dare to start a war over this matter. And the principle of the trade-off is clear. What's more, after using the violent power, the body of the Ghost Lantern Wanu will fall into a weak state, and killing him is simply a matter of frustration. Hefeng made up his mind and patted with both hands directly. As the hail dropped, the clone of Ghost Lantern Moon began to shrink. It looks like a child. His smile looked gloomy and weird, and the corners of his mouth kept rising, like a cruel killer. Click. Next second, a huge knife protruded from the right arm of the Ghost Lamp clone. With a kick on his feet, he went straight to the gentle breeze. Mu done the art of the wooden man. Thinking that this time the opponent is the future second generation Shui Ying, Hefeng moves cleanly and decisively resorts to Mu escape. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi. I saw the ground at the foot of the wind began to vibrate, cracking layer by layer, and brown vines grew from it, which became thick and big at a speed visible to the naked eye. When the Ghost Lamp clone rushed in front of Hefeng, several vines gathered together to form a huge palm, which blocked the Ghost Lamp clone's big knife. The two forces collided with each other strongly. An air of horror burst out instantly, spreading out in all directions. Sun Zan, Danzo, Yan, Shaochun, Mirror, and countless samurai, all of which were not expected to be directly forced to retreat by this force. The slightly weaker samurai, like a kite with a broken line, flew out uncontrollably. Their hearts were extremely shocked. In the battle between Hefeng and Wujinan, they can't even get in. Seeing this, Rizan hesitated a little, and then was about to bite his thumb, the psychic ape demon. As a result, Hefeng noticed his behavior and quickly stopped drinking. Don't do it, this is not a ninjutsu you can deal with at all. When the voice fell, the wooden man's 5 fingers bent forward, and he grasped the Ghost Lamp clone. Then, more and more vines joined in, becoming big and thick, very hard to form the body and head. In an instant, a fierce and vicious wooden figure appeared directly in front of Hefeng. Then under the control of Hefeng, the wooden man grabbed the Ghost Lamp clone and pressed him to the ground, trying to prevent him from continuing to explode. Yes it is. The violent power of the Ghost Lantern and Moon is just a kind of ninjutsu that can explode infinitely. Advertisement. Hefeng stepped back in an instant, and closed his eyes at the same time, activating the ability of Kagura's hard eyes, and perceiving the position of the Ghost Lantern Huan Yu's body. At the same time, the Ghost Lamp clone continued to struggle under the shackles of the wooden man. Every time he struggled, his body swelled. After a few couldn't breathe, the Ghost Lamp clone expanded to its maximum limit and exploded on the spot. Rumble. The white steam rises into the sky, like a huge mushroom cloud, opening in the city of the country of waves. The buildings of this generation will be destroyed 7 or 88. That weird smile appeared in the air again. It exploded again. Mirror and Hirasumi unanimously, they blinked in an incredible way, marveling at the ninjutsu power of the Ghost Lantern and Moon. And, this time they are quite sure. This is not an illusion. It's real ninjutsu. What shocked them even more was, just when they thought that the ninjutsu of Ghost Lantern Magic Moon was to destroy the enemy through a second explosion. In the sky, hail came again. Immediately afterwards, the Ghost Lamp clone began to act again. From the perspective of Ghost Lantern Moon, all took a breath. The most urgent thing is to solve the daimyo as soon as possible, and then leave here. Only this time, He gave up the goal of harmony, and when he rushed towards him, he changed the offensive route and went straight to the name of the country of waves. This Konoha kid is really terrible. In their opinion, this ninjutsu is not only weird, but also terrifying. Risen, Mirror, and Danzo and others. The name of the country of Nami, and her samurai. The ghost lantern hiding in the dark could not help but sigh with emotion. The appearance of a child has changed. It is another ghost lamp clone, greeted everyone's eyes. The high-temperature steam produced by the ghost lamp's self-explosion began to sink and condense together, once again. Then, there is no need to smash with this guy Hefeng. Let the temperature here drop a lot. There are almost no flaws at all. Chapter 137 shocked everyone's analytical ability, 3 more. Advertisement. The performance of the gentle breeze directly shocked Ghost Lantern Wanu for a whole year. He thought that killing a big name in the wave country was an easy task. Even if she can hire a ninja. I'm not afraid anymore. It is not an exaggeration to say that with one's own strength, it is only a matter of time to become the water shadow of Wuyin village. Not bad. In the heart of Ghost Lantern Wanu, he already felt that he had the ability to become a shadow. Result. The ninja standing in front of him turned out to be just a 7-year-old kid. What a joke. Even if Hefeng is really the grandson of the original Hokage, this joke is a bit big. When he met, his big clam broke. Then he resorted to Mudden ninjutsu. If Hefeng is a few years older, Ghost Lantern Huanyu will not think there is any problem. But, this kid looks like he's only 6 or 7 years old, right? Is it 6 or 7 years old? What kind of monster is this guy? Ghost Lantern Wanu hides behind a building, panting, watching the battle between the gentle wind and the clone. This is the price to be borne by the ninjutsu. Once used, it will consume a lot of chakras and make the body weak. My hurry to leave this place. Ghost Lantern Huanyu muttered to himself, he didn't want to stay in the country of waves for a moment. I don't want to face the kid like Hefeng. Compared with him, he is a trash. However, if you just flee back to Wuyin village in this way, it will not only reduce the reputation of Wuyin village. It is more likely to be ridiculed by everyone. In any case, the ninjas of Wuyin village have always been famous for fighting to the death. He is a ninja who wants to inherit the title of Water Shadow. He ran away without even completing the mission. Do you want this face in the future? The key is, the other party is still a 7-year-old kid. Hit by a 7-year-old kid from Konoha, he escaped back to the village without even completing the mission. If this kind of thing spreads out, don't talk about water shadows. I am afraid that I will become everyone's laughing stock. Damn it. Gui Lan Huan you couldn't help scratching his head, his mood was really irritable. Advertisement. The first generation of Hokage is also true. That kid is your grandson anyway, only 6 or 7 years old this year. Don't stay in the village, train and take care, let him come out to protect what a name. Even if it's for money, it can't be this way. How to be a grandpa. Ghost Lantern Wanu pulled out all 3 generations of the ancestors between the pillars and greeted fiercely, then looked out to observe the battle on the other side. When the ghost lamp clone was attacking Hefeng, it suddenly turned a corner and swept the daimyo with a big knife. Although he looks just like a chubby man, his speed is extremely fast. Seeing him attacking daimyo, Kirby, Sun Slash, and Mirror, the 3 immediately launched an action and attacked the ghost lamp clone by means of a triangle kill. Result. Just when they were about to succeed, the ghost lamp clone disappeared in an instant, flashed behind them, punched and kicked all 3 of them. Not only the speed is swift and fierce, but the power of physique is also quite huge. Moreover, when the ghost lamp is acting as a clone, his body size has become more and more swollen. From a small fat man to a big fat man, he kicked his feet and rushed to the daiming again. With such a scene, the daimyo closed his eyes tightly in fright and lay on the ground, not daring to move. However, the really scary part is not the big sword of the ghost lamp clone, but his ability to explode infinitely. It made him explode at such a distance. A daimyo who has no defensive ability will definitely be blown into a pool of flesh. Thinking of those 2 million taels of real gold and silver. Hefeng slapped his hands without hesitation. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi Mu Dun Wood Dragon Technique. Whoops. A lifelike wooden dragon flew out from the foot of the gentle wind, twisted its body, burst out a dragon chant, opened its mouth in the blood basin, before the ghost lamp clone blew itself again. Hold him in one hand. Rumble. Mulong smashed 3 buildings with one head, and forcibly took the ghost lamp to stay away from daiming. Then, the ghost lamp clone that expanded to its limit once again exploded on the spot. The high-temperature steam directly melted the surface of the wooden dragon and rolled upwards, like a white mushroom. The strange smiling face appeared again, looking down at the ninja present. Subsequently, the temperature dropped sharply. The steam visible to the naked eye sinks to the ground and condenses together. Once again formed a clone of the ghost lamp. What the hell is this ninjutsu? Xiaochun widened her eyes, looked directly at the ghost lamp clone, and knelt on the ground with a splash. She had never seen such a weird ninjutsu, and even felt unprecedented despair. No matter how they respond, they can't stop the expansion, explosion, and rebirth cycle of the ghost lamp clone. She couldn't even think of how to crack it. Do not. Does this weird ninjutsu really have weaknesses? This is simply a ninjutsu that subverted her cognition. Advertisement. In fact, it's not just Xiaochun. Everyone who saw the danger and violence was very shocked. In their opinion, this ninjutsu is perfect and impeccable. Mirror, don't you see anything from your writing wheel? Rizan straightened up from the ground, pinning his hopes on the mirror. Up to now, he has not analyzed the principle of this technique. Let me explain. Seeing that everyone was at a loss, he had no choice but to explain. The clone has oil on the outside and water on the inside. It is easily affected by heat and cold. Once it moves, the oil on the outside will heat up sharply, causing the water inside to boil and evaporate. When the internal vapor reaches its limit, it will cause an explosion. And when the steam rises and combines with the clouds, it will drop hail to cool it down, and it will go round and round. In other words, this is a kind of ninjutsu that can do unlimited blasting. In fact, this is not the result of Hefeng's analysis of the fight just now. But, gentle, it's a traverser. I have seen Naruto. As the fourth ninja war period, Gaara's rare highlight moment. This battle, and the wind has been repeatedly watched. He really knows the principle of violating danger and violence. Thinking about it now, I recalled the principle of this ninjutsu. Just, onlookers who know nothing about the truth. After listening to the explanation of the Japanese style, combine everything that just happened. They feel, this analysis is simply perfect. Rizan stared at Hefeng with an incredible look. Is this guy really only 7 years old? This analytical ability is too bad. He didn't understand ninjutsu at all, did he figure it out? Uchiha Mirror blinked and suddenly felt like an idiot. Obviously he has a blood succession boundary like Shaolin Yan, but he didn't see anything. On the contrary, it was a gentle breeze, which immediately analyzed the opponent's ninjutsu. Compared with him, he is an idiot. Yes it is. Every ninja and samurai present. All felt incredible. What kind of monster is Hefeng? Chapter 138 The layout of the Japanese style, 4 more. Advertisement. Ghost Lantern Moon. At this time, the Ghost Lantern Wanu looked stunned, because he clearly heard that Hefeng analyzed the principle of his ninjutsu verbatim. I don't know, I thought this ninjutsu was developed by Japanese style. This kid is only 7 years old, right? Ghost Lantern Wanu patted her ears, seriously wondering if she had any hallucinations. Otherwise, a 7-year-old kid. How did you analyze the technique of steaming danger and violence? Even Wu, the man most recognized by him, didn't figure out his technique so quickly. Such a comparison. Ghost Lantern Wanu felt once again, the man recognized by him. It's just a waste. But he regarded him as gold. He is also a waste. Yes it is. Seeing Hefeng's talent, Ghost Lantern Wanu suddenly had a strong feeling of being a waste. He not only inherited the majestic chakra volume of the original Hokage, also perfectly inherited his wooden escape, and the unique perception ability of the Maelstrom family. These abilities alone are enough to make Hefeng be regarded as a monster. As a result, his mind is even more shocking. Such a powerful analysis ability far exceeds any ninja that Ghost Lantern Wanu has ever seen. This is simply the man of destiny, the son of prophecy. Otherwise, how to explain those things that the gentle breeze shows? Ghost Lantern Wanu's heart was shocked to a great extent. He never dreamed of the assassination mission this time. I will encounter such a terrible, so outrageous, so unreasonable monster. The most exaggerated is. No matter how you look at it, Hefeng is only 6 or 7 years old. It may be Hefeng's first actual combat. At the same time, Rizan and the others also stared at Hefeng with all their attention, unable to imagine how his brain grew. Compared with him, they feel like they are idiots. But, Uchiha Kami took a deep breath, and forcibly suppressed the shock. Although Hefeng analyzed the principle of the ninjutsu of violent danger, but how to stop this technique in the end? They still can't figure out a way. Advertisement. As long as the ghost lamp clone acts, the oil on his body will heat up, causing the water inside to boil. At the same time, his speed is so fast. It is basically impossible to limit his actions. Yes, although the harmony analysis is good, the problem is still not solved. Sarutobi had a headache. He just thought of a way, which is to use the ape demon's changed Rui diamond rod to cast the diamond prison wall to trap the ghost lamp clone. According to the analysis of the wind, even if he is trapped in the wall of the Vajra prison, he can still explode. After turning into steam, it is easy to escape from the walls of the Vajra prison. Another way is the sealing technique. Unfortunately, in this ninja army, there is no ninja who knows how to seal. Mirror, isn't your illusion good? Danzo thought for a while and said. As a result, the mirror shook his head without hesitation. The other party is just a clone. He doesn't even have eyes. How could it be imposed by oneself? However, just when everyone had a headache and didn't know how to deal with the ghost lamp clone. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi, but the corners of Hefeng's mouth rose, and a smile appeared. It seemed that he didn't regard the violent power of the ghost lantern moonlight as an unsolvable problem at all. Actually, this ninjutsu has already been cracked by me. Hefeng said lightly. During the Fourth Ninja War, Gaara once fought with Ghost Lantern Wanu. And that battle was one of the few highlights of Gaara. He used the sand gold left by Luasha to wrap the ghost lamp clone, relying on the property of gold to conduct heat. Stopped his violent threats. The ghost lantern reincarnated by the dirty soil was successfully sealed. Be regarded as gold by this second-generation water shadow. Although Hefeng does not have any magnetic escape, nor can it control sand gold, but Gaara's battle has provided him with the most important ideas. That is, cool down. Just let the body surface temperature of the ghost lamp clone come down. The water inside cannot be heated, so steam cannot be produced naturally. Without enough steam, there is no way to explode. In the battle just now, Hefeng seemed to just use Mudun to fight the ghost lamp clone to prevent his explosion from hurting Daming. But in fact, when he saw the technique of violating danger and violent power was launched. Advertisement. He began to lay out. Right now, it's time to end it all. Bang. As the breeze fell, the ground at the feet of the ghost lamp avatar instantly fell apart, and a black shadow rushed out from the gap. It happens to use the Weiwei Baowei to cool down, and at the interval where you need to stand in place to cool down, a rising dragon fist goes straight to the chin of the ghost lamp avatar. When it was said that it was too late, the ghost lantern clone subconsciously fought back and fell with a knife, slashing on the shoulder of this dark shadow. Amazingly another style, but this Zephyr is actually his Mudun clone. When Hefeng used the wooden man technique, he created a wooden avatar and hid it underground. Now when the ghost lamp clone was cooling down, it happened to be standing on top of this clone's head. Of course, this is also part of the Hefeng plan. Call out. The ghost lamp clone killed the Hefeng Mudun clone with one blow, but it also activated the characteristics of the Mudun clone. He grew rapidly and turned into a wood, binding the arm of the ghost lamp clone. It's useless. After seeing this scene, the ghost lamp Wanu hiding in the dark said in a low voice, even if you can catch the clone, you can't stop him from exploding. As long as the danger and violence keep exploding, your bondage is meaningless. However, just when Ghost Lantern Yu decided that Hefeng was just delaying time. The puddle at the feet of the ghost lamp avatar suddenly rose, and at a speed visible to the naked eye, it turned into another gentle breeze. Surprisingly, the art of water body. I saw him quickly form seals with both hands and perform water escape ninjutsu. Water escape, the art of water prison. More water gushes from the feet of Hefeng Shui's body, surrounded by the ghost lamp clone, and instantly enveloped him. Then, Hefeng Shui body stretched his arm in without hesitation, completing the last step of the water prison technique. Successfully captured. In this way, the violent power of the ghost lantern magic moon will be invalidated. Hefeng looked directly at the ghost lamp clone he had caught, then closed his eyes and activated Kagura's eyes. Everything within a radius of 5 kilometers can be clearly perceived by him. After using the steaming danger and violence, Ghost Lantern Wanyu's body will become weak. In that situation, it is impossible to run a range of 5 kilometers in such a short period of time. Soon, Kagura's eyes in Hefeng locked the position of Ghost Lantern Huanyu. Found it. Hefeng opened his eyes abruptly, confirming that Ghost Lantern Huanyu was hiding behind a wall. Chapter 139 shocked the country of waves, 5 more. Advertisement. Sarutobi slashed his eyes and looked at the ghost lantern clone that was trapped in the water prison by the wind. In an instant, he understood. I understand. Rizan couldn't help exclaiming, and instantly attracted the attention of others. Everyone stared at Sun Slash. And he also began to explain. Hefeng's dungeon technique can limit the action of steaming dangerous violence, so that the heating rate of the external oil will be reduced. At the same time, the cold water that envelops him can also absorb the heat released by the oil. So that the water inside will not boil to produce steam. Fundamentally, the trickiest part of violating danger is solved. However, although judging from the current conclusion, the technique of the water prison is the ninjutsu that can most restrain the threat of violence. And the level of this ninjutsu is not high. But, there are not many people who can think of this method and do it successfully. I am afraid, there are not many in the entire ninja world. Rizan swallowed, and was stunned by the tactics of the gentle wind. In his opinion, this is like shogi. Although there are many ways to move shogi, there is often only one way to decide the winning hand. Although everyone will react when it comes out at the end. This is a hand of God. But, people who can see this step and make this step. They are often rare. Existence like a genius. The current situation is not comparable to shogi. If you are not careful, you may be killed by the ninjutsu of Ghost Lantern Huanyu. Under such pressure, he can remain calm, analyze calmly, and think about countermeasures. It is undoubtedly one of the rarest among the phoenix feathers. Especially that Mudun avatar was obviously a foreshadowing laid by the wind in advance. Look at it in terms of time. When Zhengwei Baowei exploded for the first time, the breeze. The analysis has been completed, and then the layout begins. Each time the Weiwei Baowei cools down, it will stay on the ground for 1 second before starting to act. At the speed of Jayan in a gentle breeze, in 1 second, his water body can't finish rushing out of the puddle, and then to Jayan's steps to perform the technique of water prison. That's why he used the Mudun clone to extend the time that the violent threats stayed on the ground. Speaking of this, Sarutobi Hitoshi couldn't help taking a breath. Good guys. He is a good guy directly. How does Hefeng's head grow? The fight between ninjas often predicts the opponent's next step, and then the winner can be divided. Advertisement. And now, it seems that every step of the Ghost Lantern Magic Moon is in the expectation of the gentle wind. I don't know, I thought he knew the ninja of Ghost Lantern Huanyu. You know, this is the first encounter between Hefeng and Ghost Lantern Wanyu, the first time they fought against each other. Prior to this, Hefeng was unable to obtain information about the other party. All of these are all judgments he made when he played on the spot. Wonderful. As this Konoha's ninja, Kirby, who saw this scene in his eyes, fell in love with the 5-body admiration of the gentle wind. The strength of Ghost Lantern Moon is obvious to all. In Kabi's view, even if all the warriors of the Namibia went together and faced the fierce power of the Ghost Lantern Moon, there was no chance of winning. This is the real big horror. Great despair. However, it is such a terrible ninjutsu. In a blink of an eye, it was cracked by the wind. What's even more exaggerated is that he just 7 years old. A 7-year-old genius. It is simply shocking. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The daimyo stared at Hefeng's profile blankly, and he couldn't help but think of what he had said before. Even the shadow of the misty village. I am here. Don't even want to kill you. Moreover, the 5 senses of the Japanese style are exquisite. Although he was only 7 years old, he could tell that he in the future must be a star with sword eyebrows, fresh and handsome. If it grows taller, the figure is slender and tall. Simply the perfect man. Mirror, Xiaochun, Yan, and Tuanzang were even more shocked. Although they have fought against Hefeng, in that battle, Hefeng relied on strong strength. They crushed them directly. However, this battle is different. The strength of Ghost Lantern Wanu far surpassed them, and even the gentle Mu Dun could not do anything about it. This battle is completely gentle. Through the mind, the victory is achieved. Not only the chakra is majestic, the ninjutsu is amazing, the physical skills are fast, even the mind and the wind are so outstanding. Xiaochun stared at the breeze blankly. My heart was completely captured by this little 7-year-old. Why? Hefeng is just 7 years old. Advertisement. If he is 17 years old this year. I can. I really can. Grunt. Xiaochun rolled her throat and swallowed. I can't help but feel a little crazy inside. Why can't he be born a few years earlier? Is this the pedigree of the Chinsho clan and the Uzumaki clan? Danzo took a deep breath. In his opinion, the reason why Hefeng has such a terrible thinking, IQ, it is also thanks to the excellent genes between the pillars. Yan directly slumped on the ground, feeling relieved. As long as Hefeng is our captain, there may be no crisis. This is simply terrible, Captain Hefeng. And just when everyone was shocked, Hefeng used the ability of Kagura's eyes to lock the position of the Ghost Lantern Moon. On the one hand, if the Ghost Lantern does not die, he will definitely not let the name go, and will find a way to make a comeback. On the other hand, he is the second-generation Water Shadow of Wuyin Village. It is even possible that he is the strongest Water Shadow in Wuyin Village's history. During the First World War of the Ninja World, all the first generations of the 5 great ninja villages passed away. It was the second-generation movies who besieged Konoha together. If you let go of the Ghost Lantern and Magic Moon here, wait until the death of the pillar. He will definitely invade Konoha with the elite ninjas of the Hidden Mist Village. The smoke that was produced gradually dispersed, leaving only a wooden stake in place. For a time, countless bubbles floated out from under the ghost lamp Wanu, rushed towards the wind, and exploded on the spot. It would be better to take advantage of his weakest time to solve him. Since you are Hokage, you should have the consciousness of being Hokage. Seeing the sudden emergence of a gentle breeze, Ghost Lantern Wanu quickly launched chakra to use water polo. Hefeng's instantaneous technique came to the front of Ghost Lantern Wanu. Instead of waiting until that time, let the Ghost Lantern Phantom kill Konoha's ninja. Don't struggle, you have used the technique of violent power, and now you are so weak that there are not many chakras anymore. You guy, mother-in-law, indecision will only make Konoha weak. Moreover, this is not the first time I have solved the enemy. Surprisingly, it is a substitute technique. Must be decisive. One goes down and the other goes up. Myself. In any case, my goal is to replace Sun Slash and become Konoha Hokage. The gentle breeze appeared again, and a light blue chakra ball appeared in his hand. Chapter 140 Brother, you are gold, one more. Advertisement. Looking at the panting Ghost Lantern Moon, the gentle breeze directly condenses chakra and uses the spiral pill. In this situation, if the Ghost Lantern can still run away, then the gentle breeze can hit oneself to death. Do you have anything else to say? Hefeng looked directly at Ghost Lantern Huan and asked softly. In any case, Ghost Lantern Magic Moon is the second generation of water shadows in the future. Looking at the entire ninja world, they are among the best ninjas. And his character and style are also appreciated. If it wasn't for the position, Hefeng felt that he could sit down and have a drink with him. Unfortunately, one of them is a ninja from Konoha village. One is a ninja from the Hidden Fog village. Different positions. The first battle in the world of ninja, it was Konoha who led Mizunen and attacked by Guilan Huan Yu. He must die today. The Ghost Lantern stared at the wind, and his mood was greatly shocked. Except for the gentleman who looks like a 7-year-old child. He couldn't feel any label related to 7 years old from Hefeng. In terms of analytical ability, he is the ninja he has encountered, the fastest to analyze the principle of violent violence, and think about countermeasures. On mastery of ninjutsu, Mu Dun, 8 Door Dun Jia, Wei Li, Zan Lua Wan. Each one makes Ghost Lantern Lunar feel incredible. Regarding enlightenment, Hefeng knows how to kill decisively, not indecisive, not the virgin. In terms of origin, he is the grandson of the first generation of Hokage, a genius boy of Seno Sensho. These conditions are added together. Ghost Lantern Wanu really can't think of it. Hefeng, there is no reason why he can't become Hokage. It's just a matter of sooner or later. You kid, it's gold. At this point, Ghost Lantern Wanu couldn't help but raise the corners of her mouth, and a smile appeared. Although he still couldn't accept it in his heart, he would lose to a 7-year-old kid from Konoha and die in his hands. But there is no doubt that Hefeng is the most powerful ninja he has ever seen. Even without that guy, he can't compare with Hefeng. Although he was only 7 years old, Ghost Lantern Wanu did not release water until the end. I defeated my all-out effort. Presumably, the story of Hefeng has just begun. Not reconciled. Why did he let himself meet him when he was 7 years old? Now he has not yet ushered in the peak period of his heyday. Advertisement. Damn it, I really want to see the strength of this kid at the peak of his heyday. What's your name, brother? Gui Lan Huan Yu took a deep breath and said to Hefeng. Gentle style, thousand hands and style. Hefeng's low-pitched voice told the Ghost Lantern Wanyu's name. I have to say that Ghost Lantern Wanyu's indifference to death exceeded his expectations. He thought that before dying, Ghost Lantern Moon would be hysterical and attack him madly. Or, beg for mercy and surrender. Act like a buffoon. However, none of these things happened. The Ghost Lantern Wanyu leaned on the building wall, gently chanting the name Sensho Hefeng. As if he was not welcoming death, it was more like he wanted to rest after being tired. In any case, Ghost Lantern Magic Moon is a ninja from the Warring States period. He knows the cruelty of war, and also knows that death is not far away for the ninja. He had imagined the scenes and ways of his own death countless times. Originally, the way he was most looking forward to death was to be able to exhaust the last chakra and die together with a strong man like that. But this kind of death is a good ending. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It's just a shame not to be able to fight against you at the peak of your heyday. I really want to have a nice fight with you at that time, gentle. The Ghost Lantern turned the moon, took a deep breath, slowly closed his eyes, and prepared for the final moment. Do it, gentle. Hefeng watched the serene Ghost Lantern Magic Moon. This kind of calmly going to death moved him for a while. He thought for a while, couldn't help but speak, your name. Although Hefeng had known for a long time that the ninja in front of him was the Ghost Lantern Moon, the second generation of Water Shadow in the future. But out of respect for him, Hefeng still asked his name. Obviously, Ghost Lantern Huan Yu didn't expect Hefeng would ask him that. Stunned for a while, he slowly opened his eyes and glanced at Hefeng for the last time. Gui Deng Huan Yu confirmed again in her heart, this little brother in front of her. It's gold. In the future, he will definitely become Hokage's Hokage, and bring tremendous changes to this world. And myself, will also become a part of the Hefeng story. Ghost Lantern Moon. My uncle's name is called Ghost Lantern Wanyu. The Ghost Lantern slammed into the moon and called out his name. Ghost Lantern Moon. Advertisement. I remember this name. Goodbye, Ghost Lantern Moonlight. With a gentle look, he grabbed the spiral pill in his right hand and hit Gui Lan Huan Yu directly. The majestic power burst out, pressing the Ghost Lantern on the wall. His clothes and muscles, under the action of the spiral pill, began to twist. The walls of the building behind him also began to crack layer by layer, spreading cracks like spider webs. Ah! The cry of the Ghost Lantern and the moon resounded throughout the place, and he spewed blood from his mouth, accompanied by some broken internal organs, and quickly lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Should be the second generation of Water Shadow Ninja in the future. In this way, it was settled by Gentle Wind, the name of the country of Wave, the samurai. As well as Rizan and others, all were dumbfounded at this time. No one thought that the powerful enemy that was suddenly killed, just like this. It was solved by the wind. Bang! Accompanied by the death of Ghost Lantern Wanyu, his violent power was also forced to lift. Uchiha Mirror zoomed in on the pupils of the riding wheel eyes and stared at the Ghost Lantern on the ground. Chakra slowly disappeared until it disappeared. He is indeed dead. And Sarutobi Hizen also confirmed this with his perception ability. As this ninja really only 7 years old. KB was stunned at the side, and his heart was really unbelievable. Hefeng is only 7 years old. His killing and decisiveness, even among the samurai, few people can do it. Hefeng, really only 7 years old. When Kirby couldn't help but complain, Xiaochun replied angrily. Although she did not want to admit that Hefeng was only 7 years old. But, Hefeng is really only 7 years old. It was confirmed by Master Zujian and Master Feijian together. In fact, the mood of Hizen and others is much more complicated than that of the samurai of Nami. Because of this battle, they hardly did anything. Just shouting 666 on the side, and then constantly shocked, just like the background board. It can be said that the whole process is almost a one-on-one contest between the wind and the Ghost Lantern. Compare with the breeze. They just feel like they are useless. It's a rice bucket. What is the significance of our visit to Poland this time? Rizan felt a little mad in his heart. It seems, as long as he is alone, he can protect the daimyo here. Chapter 141 Everything is for the village 2 more. Advertisement. Rizan and others can't help but begin to doubt the meaning of their existence. It seems that Hefeng alone can solve all problems. In terms of strength, Hefeng alone is stronger than all of them combined. In terms of analysis, let alone the violent power of the Ghost Lantern. It was his chi steaming pavilion, and Sunzan and others didn't know how to deal with it. That level of illusion deceived all of them. As long as Ghost Lantern Wanyu hides in the mirage and takes action, it will only be a matter of time before they will be wiped out. Yes, it is. If there is no gentle breeze, they will be killed today. I am afraid that today is not going to be annihilated here. At the thought of this, Rizan couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. While marveling at the strength of the Japanese style, he was also helpless at his own weakness. If you can be stronger, maybe it won't be like this. The strength of the Ghost Lantern Moon is not weaker than the Golden Horn and the Silver Horn. Uchiha Mirror closed the riding wheel and couldn't help sighing. In his opinion, the most difficult part of the Golden Horns and Silver Horns lies in their 6 ninjas and the beastization of their tails. They don't have any tricky ninjutsu. In terms of personal strength, Ghost Lantern Magic Moon is much better than them. Especially the illusion of Ghost Lantern Magic Moon, I can't even see through my writing round eyes. It can be said that he is definitely an expert in the field of illusion. As a mirror of the Uchiha clan, Rao admires the magic of the Ghost Lantern and Moon. His writing wheel eyes have always been able to see through the limits of ninjutsu and illusion. But in front of Ghost Lantern Wanu, his writing wheel did not play any role. If it weren't for the breeze, find the big clams in time and beat them with one punch. The consequences may be unimaginable. I always feel that the breeze seems to be getting stronger and stronger. Originally, perception was a weakness of the wind, and it was easy to be attacked in battle, but now, he has awakened his perception ability. This means that his survivability on the battlefield has been enhanced again. Thinking about it carefully, it seems that every once in a while, Hefeng can master new ninjutsu. How did he do it? Can't understand. Uchiha Koji racked his brains, but couldn't figure out what was going on. Is this the so-called genius? In the end, Uchiha Kyo can only attribute this kind of thing to the word genius. Not to mention Yan and Xiaochun, their personal strength is basically the bottom of this team. Seeing Hefeng once again dealt with opponents beyond their reach, the hearts of the two of them were already a little numb. Does hard work really make sense? Advertisement. Yan clenched his teeth. He realized that not only his talents could not match the gentle wind, but also his hard work could not match. It is said that Hefeng often gets up for training at 4 in the morning. Very self-disciplined. And myself, I haven't even seen Hokage rock at 4 o'clock in the morning. Bloodlines. Danzang's eyes narrowed slightly, staring directly at the direction of Hefeng. The majestic chakra volume and the ability to perceive chakras, without a doubt, belong to the Maelstrom family. Mu Dun, strange power, and the terrible Muji heel are inherited from the genes between the pillars. Hefeng is not so much a genius. Danzo would rather call him a blood monster. He is the perfect combination of the Thousand Hands clan and the Maelstrom clan. It is the person who perfectly compiled the genes of these two big families. Just ask. If the breeze will not escape. There is not such a scary amount of chakra. Will not cure without seal. Don't understand perception. Can he become so strong? Read more at hotmtl novel.zi, so terrible. Just master a physical technique called 8-door Dunjia, even if you practice to the extreme, what can you do? Is it possible to have the capital to challenge Senjujuma and Uchiha Madara? Do not make jokes. The horror of the wind is based on his excellent blood. Danzo gritted his teeth, envy and hatred of Hefeng's background. He felt that if he could have the interpillar cells, the writing wheel eyes of the Uchiha clan, and the sensing ability of the Uzumaki clan, he must be even stronger than the gentle wind. It's hard to settle. Dispose of the body of Ghost Lantern Wanu. Hefeng turned around and walked back to everyone. It seems unrealistic to send the body of Ghost Lantern Wanu back to Wuyin Village. It's hard to guarantee that the ninjas in Wuyin Village will be angry and attack the ninja who returned the corpse. If the corpse of Ghost Lantern Wanu is destroyed, Hefeng will feel bad. A ninja like him should be respected. Leave it to me to deal with it. Danzo, who had been silent all the time, suddenly spoke and took the job. All right. Hefeng glanced at Danzo and had no objection. Advertisement. At the same time, this assassination came to an end. Hefeng and the others returned to their residence with the frightened daimyo, and made sure that no other ninjas would wait for an opportunity to move, and Kagura would watch the movements around him from time to time. It is worth mentioning that the ability of Kagura Shinyen is indeed a good ability. But Tuan Zhang carried the flames, and according to Hefeng's explanation, he found a forest and buried the body of Ghost Lantern Wanu. Just, what are you doing? Yan suddenly noticed Danzo's actions, and found that he seemed to have done something to Gui Deng Huan Yu's body. Yan didn't expect this sudden scene. The final death of Ghost Lantern Wanu was seen in his eyes. Although the positions are different, there is no doubt that he is a respectable ninja. But, Danzo's behavior is simply blasphemy. He took 3 steps and took 2 steps, and saw a cut in the clothes of Ghost Lantern Wanu, leaving a shocking wound on his abdomen. Surprisingly, a piece of flesh and blood was cut off by Danzo. I just did what I was supposed to do. Did you see it just now? When Ghost Lantern Wanu was hit by the wind, her body was liquefied and turned into water. This may be the blood inheritance of the Ghost Lamp clan. Yan seemed a little embarrassed for a while. Yan rolled his throat and swallowed. Because the task entrusted to them by Hefeng is to bury the Ghost Lantern and the moon. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. I'm just doing what everyone wants to do but can't do. For a while, I didn't know how to refute Danzo. Danzo, why do you carry such a thing with you? Danzo said without thinking, and hoped that Yan could keep this matter secret for himself. Danzo's eyes emit a strange light, it's all for the village. And I did it not for myself, but for Konoha. His body structure is different from ours. Don't be naive. Yan, Hefeng, after all, is just a 7-year-old kid, he still doesn't understand the cruelty of the ninja world. If you bring it back to study, maybe you will gain something. In this way, Danzo put the flesh and blood of Ghost Lantern Wanu into the culture solution. That Shinobu doesn't want to get it. It's just that there is no chance. The writing wheel eyes of the Uchiha clan, the white eyes of the Hyuga clan, and the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan. But, Chapter 142 Tsunade was born. 3 more. Advertisement. After Ghost Lantern Huan Yu was settled by the wind, Wuyin Village did not send any new ninjas. The new policy of the country of Poland is smoothly implemented. Especially the fact that Hefeng defeated the Ghost Lantern magic moon spread throughout the whole country of waves. Everyone was shocked that he had such a terrifying strength when he was only 7 years old. Moreover, the emergence of the gentle breeze has given the people of this country hope. Maritime transportation was successfully completed. The daimyo of Poland also fulfilled her dream of founding a country. However, as to whether her final ideal can be realized, it can only be handed over to time. However, Hefeng is not optimistic about this. Because in the future, there will be a person called Cardo. The maritime transportation established by this daimyo was firmly controlled. Old capitalist. In the end, Hefeng received 2 million taels from the country of Nami as promised and returned to Konoha Hidden Village. He didn't take a break, but went directly to the Hokage building and disbanded the team. It's enough to report this kind of thing by yourself. Rijin and others have no opinion on this. And today's Japanese style is undoubtedly a celebrity in Konoha village. Especially the Onbi ninja who is responsible for the safety of the Naruto building. They all know that Hefeng, who is only 7 years old, has brought a special kind of shinobu. Such a terrifying speed of promotion naturally shocked all of them. When the Japanese wind appeared here again, an Onbi ninja immediately led the way for the Japanese wind. After about 2 minutes, Hefeng came to the door of Hokage's office. Boom boom boom. Anbu ninja knocked on the door rhythmically. Come in. Only after getting permission from the door, the Onbi ninja pushed open the door of the Naruto office, and with one hand, he asked Genfeng to enter, while he stayed where he was. When Hefeng started to walk in and walked in, he silently closed the door. It's just that when he saw the wind coming in, his expression was slightly surprised. You're back, gentle. Yeah, Hefeng nodded, and then put the suitcase he was carrying on the table in the compartment. As this, he blinked his eyes suddenly, and he suddenly understood. He opened the box switch. It is the reward paid by the great name of the country of Poland. 2 million taels. The task was successfully completed, Hefeng said softly. In his opinion, it is relatively easy to make 2 million vehicles. During the period, I only encountered the Ghost Lantern Magic Moon once. After that, no other ninjas were encountered. Most of the time, I was with the daimyo of the country of waves. And the other party is still a beautiful girl. During this period of time, the breeze had a relaxed life. There is still money to take. If there are any tasks like this in the future, leave them all to me. Hefeng thought for a while, and added another sentence. Advertisement. Hefeng, you. I blinked, feeling a little moved in my heart. Although Hefeng is only 7 years old this year, he is already a ninja who can stand alone. Not only did he accomplish the task brilliantly, but he was also so responsible. Even want to perform such a dangerous task. But, due to the peace agreement signed between the 5 ninja villages, there are not many similar tasks. Even if you want to delegate peace, there is no chance. Right, gentle breeze. Suddenly, it seemed as if something important had been thought of. You haven't come home yet. Okay. Hefeng nodded. No, what's the matter? This endless sentence in the interlude made Hefeng unexpected. Could it be that what happened at home? Could it be that? Hefeng's eyes gradually widened, and he couldn't help but wonder. Fagian said this to myself so solemnly. Could it be between the pillars? What's the matter? Terminal illness worsened. Still is. Gone. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. No way. In the impression, didn't he live until Tsunade was born? Tsunade's bad gambling habit was learned from Zujian. The key is, if the pillars die, the entire ninja world will break out for the first time. Gentle style. Just when Hefeng couldn't help his brain open up, Fuji's face suddenly became more serious. I have to say that this reaction in the interim made the piece even more tense. It is difficult because of my own crossing, which produced a butterfly effect. Caused a timeline change. The death between the pillars is early. Starting today, he took a breath, and his voice became low. Hefeng. Hey, don't sell it. What happened? Anxious. When Hefeng's feelings of anxiety are at its extreme. The face of facial paralysis all the year round, unexpectedly. A petting smile appeared. Even his eyes seemed to emit a ray of light. This is the first time Hefeng has seen such an expression. Advertisement. It will appear on the face of Fagian. It's incredible. Next second, it was only in Fagian that he told the truth about Hefeng. You also have someone to protect, although it's not a younger brother. Hefeng. What the hell? The person I want to protect. Not a younger brother. Is it a younger sister? And many more. Younger sister. Hefeng blinked, his mouth slowly opened, and he took a deep breath. Thinking about it carefully, I did leave the village for a long time. When I was protecting the daimyo in the country of Poland. Tsunade. Born. Tsunade's appearance appeared in Kazuka's mind. That skin is really big. No, Tsunade with really white skin. Then, Hefeng rushed out of the Hokage office without even thinking about it. Well, Tsunade who was just born. Tsunade who doesn't have any teeth when he is less than 1 year old. This Zephyr. Fagian was stunned. Before he even blinked his eyes, the gentle breeze disappeared directly in front of him. This is too ridiculous. Is a younger sister so attractive to boys? Okay. Jian couldn't help but shook his head. They were all boys in the family. Ghost Lantern Moon. Danzo chose to tell the truth and told Feijian how he got this thing. I didn't spit myself out in the middle, and quickly cleared this strange idea from my mind. Is there anything you need? Feijian raised his pensive head and noticed that Danzo was standing at the door. Thinking about it, suddenly frowned. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. However, at this moment, Danzo came to the door of the Hokage office, looked at the half-open door, and knocked on the door symbolically. If Senna is Uchiha Madara's younger sister. What's this? Can't help but frown, you got it from there. Senna looks like a girl. I don't know why, a strange thought suddenly came into his mind. What he admired the most was Yujian, and wanted to inherit his will. Danzo. Master Feijian. Tuan Zhang took a deep breath, walked in 3 steps and 2 steps, and then took out the bottle prepared in advance, which contained a piece of meat immersed in the nutrient solution. In any case, in Tuan Zhang's heart. What weird thing am I thinking about? It's outrageous. Chapter 143 Grabbing from the doll, 4 more. Advertisement. I learned the news of Tsunade's birth from the door. Hefeng left the Hokage building directly and ran back home all the way. He never thought of it. Tsunade was born at this time. Hefeng is still very fond of this unmasked sister. It's not even an exaggeration to say. Among the female ninjas of Naruto, Tsunade's appearance is definitely one of the best. In a short while, Hefeng rushed to the house. Since Ayako had just given birth and was still in a weak state, Kima took care of her. And Tsunade naturally asked Zuma. I have to say that for this newly born granddaughter, the pillars are pampered. Before Hefeng waited for the door to enter, he heard the laughter between the pillars. Think carefully. Zuma did say that because he spoiled Tsunade too much, even his gambling problem had been learned by Tsunade. When he heard that Tsunade inherited the 5th generation of Hokage. Also squeezed a sweat for this. I am very worried about the situation in Konoha village. Be on it. Emotional loss. Even standing at the door, just listening to the sound coming from inside, Hefeng can't help but fill up a warm picture. Holding Tsunade in both hands between the pillars, he lifted her high. The grandfather and grandson are happy. Thinking of this, Hefeng took a deep breath, adjusted his state, then opened the door and walked in. Result. At a glance, Hefeng was stunned on the spot. He never dreamed of. At this time, between the pillars, he was sitting cross-legged on the tatami. In front of him, Tsunade was wrapped in a small skirt and diapers. And among the two of them, unexpectedly, it's 2 cups. Then 2 pieces of white paper were laid out in front of Tsunade, with the words big and small. Click. Tsunade stretched out his immature hand and pressed it on the piece of paper with small characters, making a crisp flapping sound. Snapped, snapped, snapped. Because it was fun, Tsunade deliberately took 2 more shots. Oh, Princess Tsunade is going to start a kid, right? Since you have made up your mind. So, I will stay with me to the end. Advertisement. After all, is it big or? It's your sister. Before the pillars could finish saying these words, Hefeng directly leapt into the air and made a decisive move, kicking him in the abdomen between the pillars, almost kicking him far away. I saw the pillars roll out from the place. Hit the wall with a thud. This is a far cry from the pleasant harmony that Hefeng imagined. Click. The gentle breeze lifted the air and pushed down the cup, revealing the 3 dice hidden underneath. It's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 4 o'clock respectively. 13. Big. Tsunade. Lose. Oh, it's a gentle breeze. At this time, Zhu Jian noticed that Hefeng had returned. He straightened up from the ground and patted Haori, not taking the Japanese attack as the same thing. Oh. Then, Zhu Jian glanced at the dice on the ground, and said excitedly, ha ha ha, I won again. While talking, the pillar room walked back from the corner of the wall. In front of K's, he took a stack of banknotes from Tsunade. Zefeng. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. What's the situation? Zuma is not only betting against Tsunade. Are you still gambling? Snapped. Hefeng grabbed the banknotes and questioned the column on the spot. What the hell is going on? Whose money is this? And what are you doing? You even robbed my sister's money. Tsunade is less than 1 year old. Grandpa Zuma, won't your conscience hurt? Wait, that's not right. Betting with Tsunade, what do you think? Hefeng has a black line on his face, he feels a lot of grooves in his heart, and he doesn't know where to start complaining. Although he knew that Tsunade's bad habit of gambling like fate was learned from Zujian. But he never expected it. The pillars really carried out the spirit of grabbing from the doll. Tsunade began to cultivate her gambling awareness when she was less than 1 year old. Ha ha ha. Between the pillars smirked and scratched the back of his head, looking like I can't blame it. She said she let herself take care of Tsunade, but no matter what she did, Tsunade would cry. Only when playing this kind of game, she would not cry. Even from Zujian's point of view, Tsunade was enjoying it. Unconsciously, the two of them played like this all afternoon. Advertisement. Ah, this. The gentle wind took a breath. I really don't know if I should feel it terrifying or terrifying. Even when he interrupted the game link between Zuma and Tsunade. Tsunade turned out to be. Actively got up, imitated the movement between the pillars, put the dice into the cup, and shook it decently. Zefeng was stunned. Why are you so proficient? Ha ha ha. Xiaogang is very talented, isn't it? The pillars pressed his thigh with one hand, and said excitedly. I just made a bet that the future of Xiaogang will surely make those casino dealers frightened. Pouch. Thinking of Tsunade's title of Fat Sheep, Hefeng couldn't help but complain on the spot. I was overjoyed. Between the columns, the eyes between the pillars became sharp. Oh, is that right, Hefeng? Are you trying to challenge me? Should we make a bet? I will teach all of my life's learning to Xiao Gang. Whether it's an unrelenting will or observing in the slightest, you can use the opponent's expression, eyes, and actions to guess the ability of the cards. I want to teach it to Xiao Gang, so that the casino dealers, when they hear Xiao Gang's name, it is like hearing a nightmare. Zhujian said with a serious face, like a master gambling player. Bet on your sister. No, you are teaching Tsunade ninjutsu. Hefeng can't wait to punch the pillars. Do you know how badly your granddaughter was beaten by your best friend? Are you still gambling money? Speaking of money. Kazuka shook the bundle of banknotes in his hand. What's the matter? Tsunade is less than a year old, obviously not yet. I am also desperate. What can I do? Zefeng. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. However, before he had time to complain between the columns, a 7-year-old child in Hefeng confiscated his grandfather's money, which was outrageous. Sudden confiscation is okay. Forget it. I don't care what the reason is, anyway, I will confiscated the money, not as an example. With a speechless gentle breeze, he had to hold Tsunade and put her on the ground again. Tsunade likes banknotes too much. Wow cried. Then he turned around and asked the post, what was going on? I'm not to blame, you've seen it too, it's Xiaosun who likes this kind of stuff very much. Shi Jian shrugged helplessly. Co-authoring the newly born Tsunade, is it a small fortune fan? Between the columns. Before Hefeng could finish his words, Tsunade put down the dice and cup, clutching Hefeng's clothes, and climbed onto his body. He stretched out his immature hand and grabbed it toward the bundle of Japanese banknotes. Tsunade on the side suddenly. Hefeng said as he put a large bundle of banknotes into his pocket. Chapter 144 Tsunade, let me keep the New Year's money for you, 5 more. Advertisement. Hefeng looked stunned. What's the situation? How can you cry if you cry well? No one thinks about Tsunade. Could it be? Hefeng suddenly thought of the banknotes he had confiscated, and he carefully took the banknotes out of his body. Moment. Tsunade's cry disappeared. It was replaced by a smiling face and 2 small hands that kept waving. Zefeng. Ha ha ha. Seeing Tsunade's reaction, the pillars let out a hearty laugh on the spot. My little Tsuna, I didn't expect to be a small money fan. Hefeng looked at this sister who was less than 1 year old, who could not speak and could not walk, with a black line on her face. Then, he took the money back carefully. Moment. Tsunade's smiling face disappeared, and he cried loudly. Those who didn't know thought she was the same. This sister is not easy. However, Zefeng, who did not believe in evil, just handed all the things in the room to Tsunade. Attempt to stop her crying. The results were all useless. Including dice and cups, Tsunade's favor is not available either. Haha, Hefeng, you are as genius as you, and there is no way to take Xiaojun. The pillar room was gloating on the sidelines. All right, Hefeng sighed helplessly, and had to take out the bundle of banknotes and hand them to Tsunade. The result was the same as what Hefeng expected. When the bill came into Tsunade's eyes, her cry stopped abruptly. The 2 watery eyes stared wide, as if there was nothing but money in this world. There is no existence that can attract her. Snapped. Next second, Tsunade grabbed the banknotes from Hefeng's hand at a thundering speed, grasped firmly with both hands, took a hard breath, and smelled the banknotes. Oh no, it's the taste of money. He looked at Tsunade with a fascinating look. Hefeng really didn't know how to complain. There was a 3 or 4-year-old girl with 2 pigtails in her mind, counting the bills, and then laughing. Thump. Hefeng slumped on the tatami, and he couldn't help but appear defeated. In the field of crying, I and Feng have never seen an excellent ninja like you. I am 1,000 hands and wind, I would like to call you the strongest. Look at me, gentle breeze. However, at this moment, he smiled triumphantly between the pillars sitting on the side. He grabbed the cup, shook it with one hand, and put the dice on the tatami in. As the dice spins in the cup at high speed, they strike with a crisp sound. Advertisement. Tsunade sat up from the tatami with the ground, she crawled over with extreme effort and put the banknotes on the ground. Then, with a thud between the pillars, the cup was inverted on the tatami. He stared at Tsunade with a serious expression. Then, Princess Tsunade. What choice will you make? As the columnar voice fell, Tsunade stretched out his immature hand this time and patted it loudly. Be sure to leave it, Princess Tsunade. The cup opened between the pillars instantly. But this time, it was 1 point, 1 point, and 3 points inside. 113, small. Seeing that his bet was not hitting again, Tsunade couldn't help but pursed his small mouth, hugged his hands together, feeling unhappy. But he didn't cry, and between the pillars, he generously stuffed the banknotes into Haori. Although Tsunade is wronged, but Tsunade does not cry. Zefeng. The whole process and the wind are in a state of ignorance. What's the situation? The money was robbed. No way. But those who lose can be willing to give to others. Wrong. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Kazuo looked at Tsunade's aggrieved face. This is obviously unwilling to give the money to others unwillingly. In a sense, Tsunade is still a girl who is willing to bet and lose, and is not a little girl. Shocked and breezy all year. And, there is no doubt that Tsunade is a genius. She has no rivals in the field of losing money. A real genius. But, is it really good for you, Grandpa Hashirama? Tsunade is less than 1 year old. Kazuka couldn't help but cast a white glance at the column, as if saying that Tsunade was all broken by you. What's the matter? Tsunade is just too young and lacks skills. Although I tried to teach Tsunade, but she still doesn't understand what I'm talking about. When she gets older, she will definitely become a master in this field. Gentle breeze. He took a deep breath and said earnestly, my 2 biggest dreams are entrusted to you 2 separately. Zefeng. So, you are teaching Tsunade a few unique skills. Forget it, there are too many slots, and I don't know how to complain for a while. Grandpa Zuma, you'd better return the money to Tsunade. Hefeng said. I didn't intend to accept it either. Advertisement. Zhu Jian said angrily, as if I was playing with Xiao Tsunade. Then, between the pillars, all the bundles of banknotes were taken out. The result is more than 1 bundle, 10 bundles. There are so many. But, Kazuka looked at Tsunade desperately trying to take the bill into his arms. He couldn't help worrying. Tsunade is less than 1 year old now. Although she likes money, she obviously doesn't know the role of money. As his brother, he should help her keep the money. When she grows up, give it back to her. Not only that, but also the New Year's money in the future. Tsunade is the granddaughter of the pillars, and that is the princess of Konoha. This family, that family. Presumably, Tsunade will prepare a generous amount of lucky money. And she obviously does not have the ability to control the money, and she has no concept of money. As Tsunade's older brother, the eldest brother is like a father. You should work harder and help my sister keep the New Year's money. When she grows up, give it back to her. Xiao Gang, let's play 2 games. Hefeng smiled and slowly threw the dice into the cup. At the same time, Naruto building. Danzo recounted what happened in the country of Pause. Especially in the part where Hefeng defeated the ghost lantern Moon, he didn't miss a single detail. However, the piece of meat brought back by Dan Zhang in his hand is another proof of iron. As early as the Warring States period, his fame spread far and wide. Even the title knows it. Danzo suddenly told himself that this man was recognized by him. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. And, suddenly, there was a whim. Or the guy that Wanu died at the hands of Hefeng. Hefeng, that guy actually defeated the ninja of the Ghost Lamp clan. When I listened, I felt stunned for a while. As a ghost lantern that can inherit the 2nd generation of water shadows. Result. Perhaps, I can try to teach Hefeng the technique of Flying Thunder God. He was a man who even recognized him. Chapter 145 New plan in the interim, 1 more. Advertisement. After much deliberation, a decision was made in the interim. He is ready to use his most proud ninjutsu. The art of Flying Thunder God. Teach it to the Japanese style. On the one hand, Hefeng is talented and intelligent, and it took only a few months to master the ninjutsu such as Strange Powers, 8-door dodge armor, water escape, shadow clone, and wood escape. And also developed a terrible ninjutsu like Helix Maru. After seeing Hekaze's Helix Maru, as long as there is time, he will conduct research. What made him feel incredible was, Helix Maru, a ninjutsu, was more difficult than he thought. Even if you already know the principle, you still don't know what to do in cultivation. Such things can only be known after personal experience. This is a highly difficult ninjutsu that even the god of ninjutsu cannot easily learn. Helix Maru, a ninjutsu, has a training level of at least S grade. This incident shocked Janjian again. Although he knew that Hefeng couldn't be treated with common sense, he casually developed such a thing as S-level ninjutsu. It still shocked his heart to a great extent. Let him once again realize how shocking Hefeng's talent is. It simply subverted his understanding of the development of ninjutsu. Moreover, the spiral pill invented by Hefeng still has room for further development. After observation, he found that Helixwan belonged to non-attribute ninjutsu. It is just a ninjutsu that rotates chakra in irregular directions. No chakra properties are injected. In other words, if it can be in the spiral pill, inject the chakra attribute change. It can be used as the power of this ninjutsu. Improve it further. And it's likely more than doubled. This discovery surprised and delighted. Once again realized the fact that Hefeng is a genius and a monster. Of course. For the current door, let alone let him consider how to inject chakra attribute changes into the spiral pill. It's a simple spiral pill, he hasn't learned it yet. Yes it is. He is the god of ninjutsu. I haven't even learned the spiral pill until now. Not only did not learn, I don't even have a clue on how to learn Helix pill. If you think about it this way, wouldn't the gentle breeze? Standing in his office, I could not help but take a breath. An amazing fact was placed in front of him impressively. Even if I don't want to admit it, there is no way. Advertisement. Hefeng, a 7-year-old kid, casually invented ninjutsu that I can't even learn. How does this guy's head grow? In an instant, the mentality collapsed. In the end, who is the god of ninjutsu? Holding his forehead in the door, his heart can't help but freak out. He felt like he was like a rice bucket when compared with the wind. However, Helix pill is very powerful and doesn't need seal, but any ninjutsu has risks and costs. Like the filthy rebirth I invented before. It is not only the sacrifice of living people. Once the person who has been reincarnated from the unclean soil knows Jayin, he can use reverse Jayin to release the shackles. At that time, there might be trouble. However, I don't plan to pass this ninjutsu to the second person anymore. At first, I invented the rebirth of the dirty soil. In fact, I wanted to resurrect my brother. As a result, after discovering the costs and risks of this ninjutsu, he decided to list this ninjutsu as a forbidden technique. In the future, someone will use this ninjutsu to cause trouble to Konoha. Rebirth with dirty soil to resurrect my brother and me, and then deal with Konoha's Hokage. This kind of thing feels terrible just thinking about it. Well, read more at hotmtl novel.zi. Ninjas who can do this kind of thing don't exist. In short, this is a condition that every ninjutsu has, and Helix Maru is no exception. Muttered to himself, although the spiral pill has such advantages. But his weakness is also very obvious. That's the attack distance. Helix Maru must be held by the ninja. If you want to use this technique to deal with the enemy, you must have close contact. Although the Japanese wind controls the 8 doors Dunjia, a ninja who is faster than the Japanese wind. Not without. But, if Hefeng learns the art of Flying Thunder God, it will be different. From the perspective of the door, Fei Lei Shen's technique and Helix Pill are simply the perfect combination. First lock the enemy with the marker, and then flash behind him. A spiral pill went down. Just thinking about that picture, you can feel the despair of the enemy. On the other hand, he is a gentle grandfather. As a grandfather, why should I leave something for my grandson? This life does not bring it, and death does not bring it. Do you want to bring the technique of Flying Thunder God to the coffin? The reason why there was no plan in this area before was because the technique of Flying Thunder God belonged to time and space ninjutsu. Cultivation is extremely difficult. Advertisement. Regardless of the savvy day cut, still have a mirror that writes round eyes. There is no way to learn the art of Flying Thunder God. But, not the same as the wind. He is a genius. He is a monster. If it were him, he would definitely be able to learn the technique of Flying Thunder God. And the biggest advantage of Hefeng is youth. He can definitely use the year as a unit. Invest 1 year and 2 years, 5 years and 10 years. Even if it takes 10 years for Hefeng to thoroughly learn the art of Flying Thunder God. That's enough. The key is, Fei Lei Shen's technique is a matter of time, and there are few ninjutsu that can be used. Although he is indeed the god of ninjutsu, most ninjutsu has been classified as forbidden. It's really not so good, and I teach it to Japanese style. But, Flying Thunder God's technique is S-rank ninjutsu, and the kid in Hefeng may not be able to master it. He took a deep breath and made up his mind. Thinking of this, he glanced at the watch hanging on the wall. Well, it's time to get off work. It was confirmed that it was time to leave the office before leaving the office. Although he is now in charge of Konoha, he works overtime. At the same time, oh no, they won it all openly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. He succeeded in flicking all the bundles of banknotes. Okay. He leaned back in the breeze and lay on the tatami. She shook her head and couldn't help but vomit. How could there be such a dumb Hokage? Detected that the clock in system cooling time is over. Close black lens bracket. It was refused in the interim. This is not wartime. Tsunade feels so cute. Do not. After a battle with Tsunade. In peace times, how can there be so much work and need to work overtime? If there is really such a Naruto, in the era of peace, you still need to work hard overtime, and there is no time to rest. Familiar voices sounded in Hefeng's mind. Kazuka glanced at Tsunade, who was pouting his mouth, feeling sullen and holding back tears. Chapter 146 Check in again. The Art of Flying Thunder God. 2 more. Advertisement. Can you punch the card again? Hefeng took a deep breath, then looked at Tsunade, and then at the pillar room where he was playing with Tsunade. Simply started clocking in. Please confirm with the host, do you check in? Close black lens bracket. Yes. Hebreeze was silent, with his hands and feet wide open, lying on the tatami, putting out a big character, and starting the punching card this time. He is very familiar with all the processes now. Check in successfully. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to the host for getting the punch-in package. Close black lens bracket. Whether to open. Close black lens bracket. From Hefeng's point of view, this step can be completely skipped when punching in. It's a pity that the clock-in system is just an aid, and there is no thought. Even if the wind complains, it doesn't understand. Do not understand. With my current strength, as long as the First Ninja World War does not break out, I can walk sideways. Even Ghost Lantern Lunar Moon, the second generation of Water Shadow in the future, was defeated by himself. This ninja world is a ninja who can fight against himself. There shouldn't be much left. But, if you really want to defeat Ghost Lantern Wanu, it's not how strong you are. It's his intelligence, I know too well. From Hefeng's point of view, the powerful ninja should be divided into 2 factions. One is really powerful, even if I tell you, what is my whole card? You can't beat me either. Such as, Senjujuma who was teasing Tsunade with a lollipop. No matter who he meets. The shadows of other Shinobu village are good too. No matter what Shao organization. There was capital between the pillars, with a low growl. The best thing I am good at is Mu Dun, and I am good at immortal magic. The strongest ninjutsu is immortal magic Wooden Dun transcends Senshu. I have a showdown, I won't pretend. Then you can beat others too hard. Yes it is. A ninja like Senjujuma, even if he tells others what his moves are. The gap is not big. Should it be rolled or rolled? Just looking at the pillars who kept waving lollipops and making funny faces from time to time. Hefeng couldn't connect him with the ninja god. I always feel. Between the pillars, there seemed to be a not very clever Z. Another kind is to use information asymmetry, seemingly very powerful ninja. For example, flying segment. For a ninja who doesn't understand his abilities, Fei Duan can be said to be unsolvable. Beating him is tantamount to beating yourself. Advertisement. To kill him is to kill yourself. Once the blood was touched by the flying section, it was basically gone. But, if you know the ability of the flying section, then he is very weak. A wooden dragon bit over, restrained him, and then summoned the wooden man to dismantle him directly. Not dead. I burned the Amaterasu again, and then I gave you all the ashes. It is clear. Ghost Lantern Moon is also a ninja-like Fidan. His steaming towers and violent threats seem to be difficult to deal with. But as long as you understand the principle, it's easy to target. Even if you can't cool down the Ghost Lamp clone. Hefeng can also use perception abilities to confirm the body position of the Ghost Lantern and Moon. Kill him himself. His ninjutsu was naturally relieved. If you haven't seen Naruto and knew the abilities of Ghost Lantern Magic Moon, if you meet him, it's really hard to say whether you can win in the end. Therefore, in Hefeng's heart, he felt that he didn't win by overpowering Ghost Lantern Huan Yu. It can only be said that he is lucky. If the opponent is the third generation of Raikage, this kind of hard power faction. My current wooden man, Mulong. Basically it can't help him. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi, there are spiral pills. Even the wind escape spiral shuriken in Naruto's golden body mode failed to deal with the 3 generations of Raikage. His own spiral pill is even more useless. Moreover, now I don't know how to use fairy magic. Grasp the flaws of the 3 generations of Raikage, use his spear to attack his shield. It is not easy for the Japanese style. Based on this and that relationship, Hefeng suddenly realized that his strength should continue to improve. Thought of this, he sat up in a rush. Click. Hefeng closed his hands together, his eyes closed, and he looked sincerely asking for Buddha. I would like to use Uchiha Madara's 10-year European spirit for a powerful ninjutsu. Lei Dun chakra mode, fairy mode, golden body mode, anything will do. This sudden scene stunned between the pillars. What's wrong? He breathes. How do you feel? This grandson is utterly nagging and not very clever. Check-in package is open. Close black lens bracket. Of course, no matter how you say it, it is impossible for Zujian to see the picture in Hefeng's mind. All kinds of ninjutsu, blood succession limit, flashed in front of the wind one by one. At this point, Hefeng couldn't help feeling nervous. He began to take a deep breath, calming his emotions, while reciting Uchiha Madara's name silently. Click. Suddenly, the picture freezes. Congratulations to the host, get LV10 of Flying Thunder God from the punch card package. Close black lens bracket. Accompanied by the sound dissipated. Advertisement. Hefeng was stunned on the spot. He blinked, his eyes full of incredible. The pillars couldn't help it even more, turned around and stretched out his big hand, pressing Hefeng's forehead. This brain doesn't have a fever either. Good point. What's up, is this? Between the pillars, he looked at the breeze inexplicably. The art of Flying Thunder God. Hefeng managed to hold back his smile and could only shout in his heart. The art of Flying Thunder God. This is the art of Flying Thunder God. Awesome. It's really great. He was drawn to the technique of Flying Thunder God. Hefeng was excited and wanted to jump up. Just because of the gaze between the pillars. He still endured the excitement. At the same time, this experience also made Hefeng aware of a problem. Next time you check in, wait for no one to do it. This guy was so excited to death that he couldn't show it yet. It's simply too uncomfortable. Thinking of this, Hefeng took a deep breath and exhaled slowly. He got up from the tatami, ignored the concern between the pillars, and started to walk outside. Seeing Hefeng's demeanor, the whole process between the pillars was stunned. What's the situation? What the hell is this? What's wrong with my grandson? Could it be? Are you jealous? He blinked between the pillars, and then looked at Tsunade. Thanks to you. However, Hefeng did not notice. Uchiha Madara, but it can make up for the shortcomings of the spiral pill. The art of Flying Thunder God. Ha ha ha, I am really popular among children. Does Hefeng be so happy to have a sister? He blinked and was dumbfounded. And this ninjutsu works with Helix pill. Repeatedly confirmed that no one noticed himself. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. I just walked to the front entrance of the yard, and I saw the scene of Hefeng shaking his fists in excitement. On the other hand, he walked out of the building, came to the yard, and then looked around, carefully observing whether there were anyone nearby. Hefeng grabbed his fists with both hands and punched a set of martial arts punches in the courtyard. The second generation of Naruto invented, and the fourth generation of Naruto carried forward the art of Flying Thunder God. When he released this emotion, is it impossible, because I only play with Tsunade, not with the wind, so, he is jealous. There was a hearty laughter between the pillars, and the brain made up something amazing. He made no secret of his excitement and released his passion. Chapter 147. What is going on with this frustration? 3 more. Advertisement. Seeing such an excited breeze, he was stunned on the spot. He couldn't help but recall that when his brother was born, he was so excited, and swore. In any case, I will protect my brothers. Protect the eldest brother's pillars. But later, even a younger brother couldn't protect him. They all died on the battlefield. Yes, Hefeng now has someone to guard. Thinking of this, the corners of his mouth gradually rose, and a petting smile appeared. He is more confident. Must teach Hefeng the technique of Flying Thunder God. Let him use this ninjutsu. Use this power to protect his sister, Tsunade. He took a deep breath and deliberately waited until the gentle mood calmed down. He just stepped forward and walked into the yard. At this time, the breeze opened its own panel. Host. Hefeng. Open black lens bracket power. 42 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket speed. 39 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket physical strength. 48 close black lens bracket. Abilities. Chakra between pillars LV1, 8 door Dunjia art LV6, water dunge water dragon bomb LV10, water dunge water array wall LV10, water dunge water prison technique LV10, water dunge water body art LV10, shadow clone the technique of LV10, the spiral pill LV10, the technique of mudden 4 pillar house LV10, the technique of mudden wooden man LV10, the technique of mudden wood dragon LV10, the technique of mudden wooden clone LV1, the technique of flying thunder god LV10. Close black lens bracket. Looking at the ninjutsu he has mastered now, Hefeng was extremely excited. Now he is undoubtedly the strongest in Konoha village. Except for the column and the door, Hefeng can hardly think of anyone else in this village who can compete with him. Do not. Zefeng shook his head. Perhaps, even between. Now it may not be his opponent. Although Fenjian is known as the technique of ninjutsu, his strength should not be underestimated, but most of his ninjutsu is listed as forbidden. And without using these forbidden techniques, it will undoubtedly reduce the strength of the door. Really want to fight? I don't necessarily lose. Gentle style. Just as Hefeng thought of these things, a familiar voice came from behind him. He then turned around and glanced over. It was found that the person who came was the time. Grandpa Feijian. Hefeng put away his thoughts, and greeted Feijian with a smile. When will I be promoted to Shinobu? With his current strength, he could almost sweep Konoha Kamanon. It's just that he has done too few tasks and has not contributed enough to the village. Only failed to be promoted to Shinobu. Advertisement. However, he had helped Konoha in his previous mission in Nami no country, earning a bounty of 2 million taels. It should be a big contribution. Leave aside this matter for now. He shook his head and changed the subject directly. Zefeng. It's okay to leave it alone. Are you free now? I thought for a while, although he liked Tsunade's granddaughter very much. But during this time, he has been playing with Tsunade. Hefeng is always sent out to perform ninjas by himself, and has not been able to spend a few days in the village in a month. It's also time to accompany the Hefeng. Not to mention. But he regards Hefeng as the future Hokage is cultivating. It is understandable to spend time on him. Nothing. Although I don't know why Feijian asked, but Hefeng's instinct told him. There should be any thoughts. Come with me, Feijian said to Hefeng, then turned and walked outside. What's the trick? Hefeng blinked and couldn't see what he wanted to do, but he was too lazy to ask. 3 steps followed by 2 steps. In a short while, the two came to the exercise site. Matbo and Hefeng often train here. He stopped, turned around, put his hands around his chest, and looked down at the breeze. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. During this time, you performed well. So I decided, it's time to teach you some real skills. True skill. Hefeng looked at the door, and couldn't help thinking about those true skills in his mind. I really want to learn that. That must be the technique of reincarnation from the dirty soil. But considering the character of the door, he shouldn't be able to teach. As for the remaining ninjutsu, there is nothing to look forward to in the gentle breeze. The HE art looked a bit disgusting, not suitable for me. The shadow avatar has been learned by himself. Water escape is the same. Mutual multiplication detonation symbol, that thing is pretty strong. If Deidara sees it, I am afraid that he will call it art. However, that ninjutsu should be used in conjunction with the reincarnation of the dirty soil. The rest, I also want to learn the art of flying thunder god and wind. But, I have already learned the punch card just now. After thinking about it this way, the sense of expectation of the Japanese style faded in an instant. Hefeng's indifferent expression, on the contrary, made Feijian a little suspicious of life. Advertisement. Hey, I'm the god of ninjutsu. Still your second grandfather. Now that I teach you ninjutsu myself, you should be happy. What is going on with this indifferent attitude? I don't know why, but suddenly there is a sense of frustration. Do you know how many people want to guide themselves and don't have time for themselves? Like Danzo. He didn't know how much he wanted to learn ninjutsu from himself. Damn it. Forget it. Suppress the depressed mood in the interim. Anyway, as long as you use the following ninjutsu, the breeze will definitely respond. Hefeng, look good. Jian deliberately doubled the volume, and then took out a handful of kunai from the ninja bag. Hefeng's gaze narrowed slightly, and he noticed that the kunai in Feijian's hand was wrapped around a strip of cloth. There is a circle printed on it, and a few horizontal lines. Surprisingly, the mark of the Flying Thunder God technique. Really, in the interim, I was planning to teach the Flying Thunder God technique to me. As soon as it was confirmed that it was the art of Flying Thunder God, the passion of the gentle wind faded a bit. At the same time, in the middle of a hell, A middle-aged man who seemed to have ignored his hair for a long time, was closing his eyes and rested. His skin looked a little sagging, and his complexion was slightly haggard. And on the wall behind him, there is a fan. It's just Uchiha Madara, grumbling. The sound of squirming came from Uchiha Madara's right hand, and within a short while, a mass of white stuff came out of the rock. It fell to the ground with a plop and slowly changed into a human form. It is Baiju, although Madara is now hiding in this dark place. But for the direction of the entire ninja world, he has been relying on Baiju to obtain information. Ghost Lantern Moon, dead. In a low voice, Baiju told Uchiha Madara the news he had received. This kind of thing is almost his only pastime during this time. The mustache in Wuin village. I thought he could inherit the title of Water Shadow, but now it seems that it is nothing more than that. How did he die? Uchiha Madara asked casually, battered to death by the grandson between the pillars. Uchiha Madara. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Advertisement. Advertisement chapter 148 shocked Uchiha Madara for a whole year, 4 more. Advertisement. After Shirazu told the news that the Ghost Lantern was killed, Uchiha Madara's mind came up with several characters. That guy in the door. Nothing in Yenian village. Although incompetence is not as good as his own, he is a ninja who has been active in the Warring States period anyway. His hand is really good. Or maybe the guy from the Wuin village. Only did not expect that the person who killed Ghost Lantern Wanu would turn out to be the grandson of the pillars. Actually, this is not the first time that Baiju has brought back information about Hefeng. The first incident that led Uchiha Madara learn of this name was that he defeated the Golden Horn and Silver Horn of Union Village with a wooden escape. At that time, Uchiha Madara was shocked for a long time. In particular, Baiju told him that the grandson between the pillars was named Hefeng. Only 7 years old this year. At the age of 7, he defeated the Golden Horn and Silver Horn. What were you doing when you were 7? Don't say 7 years old. When I was 15 years old, I had just started writing rounds, and I was still a goofy. Almost twice the age of the Japanese style. When I was 7 years old, I still lamented that I didn't have enough power to protect my brother. Hefeng has already played Mu Dun. What a joke. The gene between the pillars is too powerful. No, there should be more than just the relationship between the columns. Baiju had told himself that the amount of chakras in the gentle breeze was terrifying and astonishing. Confirming with perception ability is simply another Chinshujujian. In terms of the amount of chakras, there should also be credit for Mito. Uchiha Madara recalled that the gentle breeze was not only about grandpa. His grandma is also great. The famous princess of the Whirlpool family. And also sealed the 9 tails into his body. She is a very capable woman. The combination of her and the pillars gave birth to the Japanese style. How old is Hefeng this year? Uchiha Madara took a deep breath, and it took a lot of effort to suppress the shocking emotions, and asked Baiju. He never dreamed that in the blink of an eye, he would grow into a ninja who could defeat the Ghost Lantern and Magic Moon. I always feel that the days when the Japanese wind defeated the Golden Horn and the Silver Horn have not passed for long. Is it because I'm in the middle of hell, and even the concept of time has become blurred? In Uchiha Madara's view, in terms of hard power, Ghost Lantern Moon is still much better than Jin Yin Zhao Yin. After all, those two brothers don't have 6 ninjas, and they are basically nothing. So according to Uchiha Madara's perception, Hefeng should have grown for a while before catching up with the strength of Ghost Lantern Wanu. Advertisement. Hefeng. Still 7 years old. Baiju looked inexplicable. Master Madara, don't you think that a few years have passed? Uchiha Madara. Hefeng is still 7 years old. Wait a minute, how long has it been since the last time the Golden Horn and Silver Horn were defeated by the Gentle Wind? Uchiha Madara blinked and gradually realized the seriousness of the problem. More than a month. Baiju gestured, and he couldn't remember the time. There are no 2 months anyway. Uchiha Madara. What is this? The grandson born between the pillars, who was only 7 years old, defeated the Ghost Lantern Huan Yu. It's not that I stayed in hell for too long, even the concept of time has become blurred. But, how long hasn't it passed? Hefeng, this guy has a plug-in, right? Uchiha Madara's eyes widened, and he couldn't figure it out. Hefeng guy, why is it so against the sky? Just because he is the grandson between the pillars. No. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. No. Uchiha Madara held his forehead, feeling a little headache for a while. At the beginning, he had the same dream as Zujian. All want to bring peace to this world. Let the children put their hearts to heart and treat each other frankly. As a result, Madara Uchiha found that such an ideal could not be realized at all. That's why he interpreted the stone monument of the Uchiha clan and looked for the answer in his own way. But between the pillars, he chose to entrust his ideals to the next generation. In other words, the existence of Hefeng will affect his plan, whether he can proceed smoothly in the future. The stronger his strength, the harder he can deal with him. And judging from Hefeng's current growth rate, he is far more terrifying than his grandfather. This is not good news for Uchiha Madara. But, do you want to kill Hefeng? Uchiha Madara looked at his hands, and his body has become weak since he transplanted the interpillar cells. Let alone his own strength, it is not as strong as the Valley of the End at that time. I don't even say if I solve the Hefeng, whether there will be clues left, so that the pillars will find that he is not dead, which will lead to the failure of the plan. Hefeng is the most important bloodline between the pillars, and also inherits the wooden escape technique between the pillars. If the breeze has some strengths and weaknesses, it will definitely be very sad between the pillars. In the past, we all had younger brothers who wanted to protect. And now, there is a grandson between the pillars that needs to be guarded. Advertisement. The most important thing is that the column is now terminally ill. Fate is coming soon. Forget it. Baiju, pay close attention to Hefeng, and pass on his information to me at any time. In short, let's observe the breeze for a period of time. Konoha Village. Exercise field. Feijian took out a handful of kunai from the ninja bag and demonstrated to Hefeng. He took a deep breath and threw kunai out. God of Thunder God. Next second, the room disappeared directly in the same place. Hefeng looked towards the direction where Kuwu flew out. Same as he thought. The door that disappeared for a while, suddenly appeared in the position of the Kuwu, and then grabbed the Kuwu, aimed at the wooden stake in front of him, and stabbed it fiercely. Bang! With a loud noise, Kumo pierced into the stake strongly, bursting out a blast of air, spreading out to the surroundings. Powerful, looking at the stakes destroyed by oneself. Satisfied, he turned around, weighing kunai, the corners of his mouth raised, and a smug, confident smile appeared. How is it, gentle? This ninjutsu is called the art of flying thunder god. It's the ninjutsu that I developed myself. You can attack him from an unexpected angle. By the time he perceives the murderous aura, it will be too late. I used this ninjutsu to kill. Speaking of the most exciting time, it stopped abruptly. A picture of Senna's unwillingness appeared before his eyes. Huh, who did you kill? Hefeng asked subconsciously. It's nothing, it's just some old things, don't mention it. As soon as the voice fell off, I felt that there was something wrong. Okay, Zephyr, why are you not excited at all? Not excited. What I just demonstrated by myself is the art of flying thunder god. Why is Hefeng's focus on who he killed? What is going on with this sense of frustration? Hefeng, I just used it, it's not the instantaneous technique. But, the art of flying thunder god. Chapter 149 False, all false, I don't admit it 5 more. Advertisement. Why hasn't Hefeng returned? I waited for a long time between the pillars on the tatami, but did not wait for the breeze to return. For a while, I couldn't help but worry a little bit and the wind ran there. He looked at Tsunade, and hugged Tsunade in a hug. Suna, shall we go to see your brother? A petting smile appeared between the pillars, and seeing that Tsunade had no objection, he went out to look for peace. Logically speaking, with the strength of the gentle wind, Zhujian is not worried. Besides, Hefeng is now at the age when he likes to run outside. However, the final reaction of the wind made Zhujian feel a little abnormal. At the same time, in the exercise field, he looked at the breeze with a black line on his face. For some reason, he felt that the harder he worked, the stronger the frustration he felt from Hefeng. What I just used was not the instantaneous technique. It's the art of flying thunder god. It is a kind of space-time ninjutsu that completes the movement by making marks in advance. It's not something like instantaneous technique at all, it can be compared. But, not to mention the shining eyes of the gentle breeze, haunting oneself to learn the art of flying thunder god. He was expressionless, as if, the technique of flying thunder god is not a great ninjutsu. For a while, I was a little speechless. Listen well, gentle. Flying thunder god's technique is a kind of time and space ninjutsu. It is a teleportation achieved by a technique. As long as the thunder god technique is left on the target in advance, the thing that the caster contacts with the caster chakra can be teleported. This technique can be used to attack, shorten the distance of ninjutsu, disrupt, and surprise opponents. It can also be used to evade and escape in emergency. The most important point is that you don't need Jayan to use the technique of flying thunder god. Feijian further explained to Hefeng how powerful his flying thunder god was. He felt that although Hefeng was only 7 years old this year, his mind was much smarter than his peers. Not to mention understanding and analysis. In other words, just demonstrate and explain by yourself. With a gentle mind, he must be able to understand the technique of flying thunder god. It's amazing. What a great ninjutsu. It is different from instantaneous surgery. The instantaneous technique only uses chakras to move at high speeds. And the moving location is not only a small range, but also a location chosen by the ninja. But the technique of flying thunder god is different. When in contact with the target, you can leave the technique on the opponent. No matter where the opponent is hiding, as long as the flying thunder god's technique is activated. Can move to him in an instant. Kill the opponent before he can react. In order to get a better understanding of Hefeng. The hands are sealed in the door, and the shadow avatar is used. Bang! Advertisement. Along with a loud noise, a cloud of white mist appeared beside the door, slowly dissipating to the surroundings. It was another time, appearing in front of the wind. Then, Feijian patted the shoulder of the shadow avatar. In the next second, the shadow avatar in Feijian used a short-lived technique, and then withdrew to 8 feet away. I'm optimistic, gentle. Feijian guided Hefeng's gaze and made him notice the technique on the shoulder of the shadow clone. Soon, he launched the flying thunder god technique and disappeared in the same place. When he reappeared, he was already standing behind his shadow clone, holding a handful of kunai in his hand, resting it on the shadow clone's neck. Bang! There is another white mist. The shadow clone in the door disappeared. Do you understand, gentle? This is the technique of flying thunder god, the most powerful place. Once it is left behind, No one can escape. Janjian raised the volume, and walked back from 8 feet away. Now, Hefeng, you should know how amazing ninjutsu I have developed, right? Back then I relied on this ninjutsu. Killed Uchiha Madara's younger brother, Senna. And, read more at hotmtl novel.zi, this technique of Flying Thunder God is not a forbidden technique. However, Zefeng is still not much change in expression. The shock of wanting, admiration and so on. Not even more. Hefeng really just stood there. It seems that there is no feeling at all. This kind of feeling made the frustration in the room even more serious. Could it be that the breeze can't understand what you mean? But he made it very clear. Even Danzo's slow-reacting ninja can understand. He is always a genius, isn't he a genius? Feijian looked at Hefeng with a black line on his face. Now he really doesn't know what to say. And Hefeng, my heart is equally depressed. It's not that he doesn't like the technique of Flying Thunder God. On the contrary, from Hefeng's point of view, Fei Lei Shen's technique is not only very strong, but also very handsome. He even thought about his nickname. Just called. Konoha dances wildly with black flashing wood. It's just that these words are really out of time. He has learned the art of Flying Thunder God. Advertisement. And in the yard, I was already excited. He really didn't have much excitement. Secondly, the breeze is a bit embarrassed. If you tell Feijian directly, you have learned the art of Flying Thunder God, I'm afraid it's not his mentality that will collapse. Anyhow, it is his second grandfather, and Hefeng also wants to save him a little face. After all, I not only have a kind soul, but also a gentle heart. But there is no way, some things will have to be faced sooner or later. Sooner or later, you have to go through it. Grandpa Feijian, it's really not what I want. On the contrary, the ninjutsu of Flying Thunder God, I have already learned. Hefeng took a breath and said very quietly. He really does not want to hit the emotions in the room anymore. Result. Suddenly, his eyes widened, and his chin was about to fall to the ground in surprise. What the hell? What did he talk about just now? He learned the art of Flying Thunder God. Are you kidding me? He didn't remember that he had taught Hefeng Fei Thunder God's art before. Besides, you haven't used this ninjutsu in front of Japanese wind, right? The most important is, this ninjutsu looks at the entire world of ninjutsu. Looking at Feijian's expression unwilling to recognize reality. Absolutely impossible. Therefore, Hefeng cannot be the skill of Thunder God learned from others. Hefeng had to sigh, took out the kunai that was given to him in the ninja bag, and threw it out. Next second, even if it's the eldest brother between the pillars, it won't. This is his life's hard work, and he is the most proud of ninjutsu. This is S-rank ninjutsu. He, in the interim, would never admit it. Hefeng, this kid, no matter how much he looks like a monster. Hefeng, you are afraid that it is not a misunderstanding of the Flying Thunder God's technique. I repeat, the Flying Thunder God's technique is not the instantaneous technique. Only oneself will. There was a sound in the air, and he did not want to admit that Hefeng had mastered the fact that the Thunder God's art had been mastered. Yes, it is. Impossible. Hefeng activated the Flying Thunder God's technique, caught Kuwu, turned around and asked, Flying Thunder God's technique, isn't it this? It's impossible. You can learn it by just looking at the art of Flying Thunder God. Chapter 150. Have I been in illusion all the time? One more. Advertisement. Hefeng's heart is also very helpless. Who made it look for a time node like this? Before, there were obviously so many opportunities to teach himself the art of Flying Thunder God. I have to wait until this time. Through the punch card gift pack, I got the technique of Flying Thunder God. He just ran over to teach himself unique skills. Really? What a shame. It is estimated that the mentality of GN is going to collapse again, right? The result was the same as Hefeng expected. When he throws out Kuwu, and then flashes to Kuwu using the technique of Flying Thunder God to catch Kuwu. Suddenly, he was stunned on the spot, staring at Hefeng with a dumbfounded look. He suddenly felt that his brain was blank and could hardly accept the facts before him. Gentle, mastered the art of Flying Thunder God. Moreover, after only watching the demo, he easily learned the S-level ninjutsu developed by himself. What a joke. What kind of monster is this guy? When Hefeng learned Bamandungia before, it was enough to shock me. But, although Bamandungia is very powerful, it is not difficult. As long as it can control its own chakra, it doesn't even need to be precise. It can break through the restrictions in the body and achieve the effect of opening the door. Hefeng, the precise control of chakra is very good, and he even mastered the ninjutsu of strange power. Going to learn Bamandungia again is naturally a matter of half the effort. Although the fact of learning Bamandungia at a glance has shocked Eujian for a long time, it is fundamentally not impossible. It can only be said to be a natural gift for the gentle style. However, Fei Lei Shen's art and Bamandungia are completely different ninjutsu. The difficulty of practicing the technique of Flying Thunder God is much higher than that of the 8-gate Dunjia. And it's time and space ninjutsu. Except for himself, the entire Konoha village couldn't find a second ninja who could fly Thunder God's art. It is enough to prove how exaggerated the difficulty of this ninjutsu is. Result. You tell me, Hefeng can be mastered by just a glance. How could this kind of thing be possible? She rubbed her eyes vigorously, very reluctant to admit it. But no matter how hard he used to rub his eyes, he couldn't change the facts in front of him. Gentle, indeed mastered the art of Flying Thunder God. There seems to be a little similarity between the instantaneous body art and the Flying Thunder God art, but there is a fundamental difference between the two. Shocking is actually a kind of ninjutsu that condenses the souls of the chakras to use chakras to move at high speeds. Advertisement. Flying Thunder God, it is real-time and space ninjutsu. I couldn't help taking a breath. When the breeze disappeared, he did not feel that the breeze condensed chakra to his feet. This is enough to prove that Hefeng does not use instantaneous technique. No, this is not true. Fake, fake, it must be fake. I must have been caught by someone else's illusion, or I didn't wake up. Fei Jian kept roaring in his heart to deny the fact that Hefeng had learned the art of Flying Thunder God. Even though, his original intention was to hope that Hefeng could learn the art of Flying Thunder God, and the sooner the better. But like now, it's easy to learn at a glance. He does not accept it. He can't accept it. Does he know how long it took him to develop the art of Flying Thunder God? How long did it take to master this ninjutsu? Compared with Hefeng, a 7-year-old kid, he is an idiot. Waste. Big eater. In a frantic heart, I suddenly realized the most critical problem. Yup. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi Hefeng this year. Only 7 years old. He is only 7 years old. At the age of 7, he easily learned the art of Flying Thunder God. How terrible is this? What a guard against the sky. Even if I let me forget all the memories of the Flying Thunder God's art and learn from a new one, how long will it take me to learn this ninjutsu again? 1 year or 2 years? 5 years and 10 years? The more you think about it, the more exploded it is. His mentality has collapsed. What a god of ninjutsu. Compared with the talent of the Japanese style, he is simply the god of waste. I don't know how long it took, what kind of effort it took, and I barely managed to ease some of the emotions in the middle of the game. But for the shock of the gentle breeze, he still couldn't subside in his heart. Harmony, gentle style. Don't tell me, you only took a look and learned the art of Flying Thunder God. Even Feijian himself didn't realize it, when he talked to Hefeng again. The voice is trembling. It suffices to show that the gentle breeze of the Thunder God's art has brought a great shadow to the heart. So that he now seriously doubts his ability. Advertisement. Seeing Chinshojian who was so unconfident, Hefeng's mood became more subtle. In any case, he is his second grandfather anyway. Hefeng has a hunch, if he speaks of the art of Flying Thunder God. Isn't it enough to have hands? Such a simple ninjutsu, I can see it at a glance. And many more. Things like that, I am afraid that it will not be killed on the spot. Hefeng's brain worked for 2 seconds for the sake of time, and he decided to tell a white lie. Well, it's not. The wind shook Kuwu in his hand. Grandpa Feijian, do you remember this? His eyes narrowed slightly, and he saw the brand new Kuwu in Hefeng's hands. Isn't this exactly the kunai he gave to him in the name of a gift when Hefeng defeated Danzo? As long as it was related to the wind, he couldn't forget it. When I received this kunai, I saw a strange pattern on it. Strange pattern. After thinking for a while, he felt that what Hefeng said should be a mark of the Flying Thunder God art. Out of curiosity, I studied it. Hefeng took a deep breath. As a result, I learned the art of Flying Thunder God. Between the door, Hefeng's understatement, like a smashed drink, hit the head in the middle of the head. He was so scared that he took a step back involuntarily. If you say, Hefeng glanced at his presentation and explanation, and learned the art of Flying Thunder God. That shows that he is very talented and has strong ability to understand and imitate. Although this is impossible in the cognition of the door, Hefeng has done it, and it can only show that he is powerful. If you say so, the breeze. I didn't actually kill him with Flying Thunder God slash. Are you kidding me? The cause, just saw a mark of the Flying Thunder God technique. Could it be that guy Senna? This is impossible. There are always some geniuses who can achieve achievements that no one else would even dare to think of. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. But where did you learn the art of Flying Thunder God before? In the end, Hefeng said that he hadn't read his own presentation, but after listening to his explanation, he understood the art of Flying Thunder God. Do not. I have been hit by the illusion of the Uchiha clan. Wouldn't it be equivalent to the development of the art of Flying Thunder God? But from the beginning, he was in the illusion of his kaleidoscope writing round eyes. I do not accept. In the interim, when did you have the illusion that this is not a kaleidoscope illusion? Even in the ear of the door, there seemed to be auditory hallucinations. Fake, fake, it must be all fake. Chapter 151 My Flying Thunder God is Bo Feng Shui Men version. 2 more. Advertisement. Although the scene before him was too shocking, it felt like the sky was spinning for a while. Let his brain start to doubt life. Yes, it is. In the present time, the whole person is not only stunned, but also extremely suspicious of himself. He can't even help thinking now. I was in a one-on-one contest with Senna. Really are. Did you kill Senna with the Flying Thunder God? Is Senna really dead? Isn't it true that from the very beginning, I was hit by Senna's illusion? All of this is a false world constructed by Senna for herself with a kaleidoscope. He did not kill Senna. The war is not over. Senjujuma did not shake hands with Uchiha Madara to make peace either. Konoha Shinobu village could not be established. The eldest brother Zujian did not marry Uzumaki Mito either. The country of Vortex does not exist. There is no Kima, no Ayako. There is no gentle breeze, Tsunade. All of this is nothing but Senna's kaleidoscope illusion. Even at this moment, Senna's voice seemed to appear in Fei Jian's mind. In the interim, when did you have the illusion that this is not a kaleidoscope riding round eye illusion? All this is in my plan. Immerse yourself in the magic of kaleidoscope forever. Grandpa Feijian. Hefeng looked confused. Did you learn the art of flying thunder god by yourself, as to make Feijian so shocked? Although I know this is an S-rank ninjutsu, but the ninjutsu I learned before is no worse than that. Weird force, 8-door dunjia, wood escape, spiral pill. Are they all unique skills? So Hefeng had to raise the volume over and over again, pulling his thoughts back to the real world. What? After blinking, he confirmed his chakra as if he had been in a world away from now on, and confirmed his own chakras for a while, as if he had been in a world away, he was able to check his chakras for a while. Beads of sweat kept coming out of his forehead, and a lot of wet behind his back. But after some confirmation, I realized that this is the real world. It's not an illusion world. I don't have Nakaizumi's kaleidoscope to write round eyes illusion. Call. Take a deep breath and adjust your breathing and emotions. He looked at Hefeng again, and the more he looked at it, the more incredible it became. Advertisement. He is only 7 years old. How did you learn the art of flying thunder god? This is too ridiculous. Have you really learned the art of flying thunder god? Up to this moment, Fei Jian's heart was still unacceptable, and couldn't help asking again. Hefeng couldn't help but a black line on his face. He patted Fei Jian's stomach. In fact, Hefeng also wanted to pat on the shoulder of the door, but due to the height difference, his stepping back is not strenuous enough. Fei Jian lowered his head subconsciously and glanced at the location where he was beaten by the wind. With just a glance, he was stunned on the spot, his pupils dilated in an instant, and he looked at that location carefully. A string of marks was left on the position that was photographed by the wind. It is different from its own flying thunder mark. The mark of the Japanese style is not a pattern, but a text. In fact, the technique of flying thunder god that was drawn by the wind. It is not the second generation door-to-door version, but the fourth generation Watergate version. The kuwu he just threw out was not the flying thunder god who relied on the skill of the door to activate. But at the moment of the shot, he left his mark of flying thunder god in the hand of kuwu. In any case, Hefeng is now proficient in the art of flying thunder god. It is easy for him to leave the mark of flying thunder god at the moment of contact with an object. You can go there anyway. Hefeng said lightly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. As long as there is a mark on his body, no matter where he escapes, he can lock his position in an instant. Although Fei Jian was very surprised, according to what Hefeng said, an instantaneous spell disappeared in front of Hefeng. And in order not to let the wind find his trace, Fei Jian deliberately used the technique of flying thunder god after an instantaneous spell. Hiding in the woods, it is at least 8 feet away from the position of the breeze. Confirming that he is hidden, he squatted down between the door, put his index finger and middle finger close together, and pressed it on the ground to fully realize his ability to perceive chakra, and wanted to lock the position of the breeze. In other words, I plan to compete with the wind. Take a look, Hefeng and his skill of flying thunder god. Who is faster? Who is better? Hefeng. Now, however, before the words fell, Kunai put a hand on his neck. Such an exaggerated speed shocked everyone. His eyes widened, his throat felt dry and itchy, and he swallowed a sip of water to relieve it. Then, he used his ability to perceive chakra and found chakra standing behind him. I am very familiar with it. Not someone else. It's just gentle. Turning his head back slightly, the first picture that catches his eyes is the metallic luster emanating from the supreme suffering. Advertisement. You should believe it now. Hefeng said with a smile, and then put away kuwu. In this way, Hefeng can be regarded as the fact that he has learned the art of flying thunder god. Do not. Jian shook his head, feeling that this statement is not accurate. Because Hefeng is not only as simple as learning the art of flying thunder god. He improved this ninjutsu based on the original flying thunder god technique. Not only has the mark changed to another kind, even the speed has surpassed itself. Gentle. It's not that he has learned his own technique of flying thunder god. Rather, it surpassed his own skill of flying thunder god. What a joke. Suddenly there was a feeling of crying without tears. Hefeng's talent is too exaggerated, too terrifying. Even from the day when I sent the wind and kunai. How long has it been until now? Only about 4 months. How long has it been since I developed the art of flying thunder god by myself? At least a few decades. In other words, I have worked hard for decades. Unexpectedly, it is not as good as the effect that Hefeng achieved in just 4 months. At the speed of flying thunder god, he was completely defeated by Hefeng. You know, you are the god of ninjutsu. The second generation of Naruto. As a result, now, even a 7-year-old kid can't match it. Have you lived on a dog for so many years? What? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. I haven't waited for this reason to paralyze myself. Think carefully. His decades of hard work are completely inferior to the 4 months of growth in the wind. Today, it is indeed decades since I developed the flying thunder god. A lot of my time is used to assist my eldest brother and manage the village. However, he really didn't spend all his time on the art of flying thunder god. If you think about it this way, your emotions will collapse again. It's totally incomparable. He suddenly realized one thing. There is also Madbo's devil training method, which does not occupy the time of the breeze. Is there a gentle breeze? However, I don't have the opportunity to practice ninjutsu every day. Can't compare. She breathed in desperately, trying to calm herself down. He knows more than one flying thunder god. Water escape, wood escape, strange power, 8-door escape. Chapter 152 8-year-old Hokage. 3 more. Advertisement. Not to mention the 4 months of Japanese style, I learned a lot of ninjutsu, worked hard to improve the muscle strength to adapt to the 8-door dunjia. Not to mention that during this period, Kazuka developed Helix Maru, which is also an S-rank ninjutsu. Even if Hefeng didn't do anything in these 4 months, all the time was spent cultivating the art of flying thunder god. So what? Before the establishment of Konoha village, he had been in the warring states period. At that time, apart from fighting with others on the battlefield, every day is to practice hard to strengthen one's own strength. There has never been a moment of relaxation. Even in the age of ninja, he is not a person living in a fairy tale. With regard to the crisis awareness of the war, Sofagian never dared to relax. In other words, his efforts are at least several times, dozens of times, or even hundreds of times that of the gentle wind. Then, it only took less than 4 months to be Hefeng, and it was surpassed. This makes Fagian a little doubtful about the meaning of working hard. What exactly is it? Compared with a monster like Hefeng, my own efforts are like a joke. He held his forehead in the door. He really didn't know what kind of expression he should use to face the gentle breeze this time. At this moment, he seemed to understand the mood of Danzo, Mirror, and Hazaki. They worked hard for more than 10 years, but in the end they were not as good as what they could achieve casually. This mood is really shocking. Thump. Thinking of this, I just sat down on the grass with his back leaning on a big tree, raised his head, and looked at the sky at an angle of 45 degrees. Hefeng, you are like a monster. Zefeng. It's okay to suddenly say that he is a monster. You too, what are you doing? But at this moment, the voice between the pillars rang in the forest. Kauma and Kazuka turned their heads subconsciously, and at the same time saw Zuma, who was holding Tsunade. Big brother, why did you run here? I couldn't help but ask. So between the pillars sighed and told the truth. He thought something was wrong with Hefeng, so he ran out to take a look. As a result, I inquired all the way and found out that the two of them had come to the exercise site. I thought I wanted to train Japanese style. That's why the pillars came here to take a look. In the end, what he didn't even dream of was, when he found the two men, the wind was nothing. It seems, it was severely hit. It's been a long time since I saw him show his current expression. In the end, what happened? Advertisement. Fangjan, are you okay? Asked with a black line on the pillars. However, considering Fagian's strong personality that day, Zujian felt that even if he asked, Fagian might not be able to say it. But he was very worried about the younger brother in Fagian. So, Zuma answered without waiting for the door. He turned his head and asked Hefeng, what's the matter? Well, Hefeng glanced at the depressed room, shook his head helplessly, and the corners of his mouth rose, and a wry smile appeared. Probably, maybe, it's because I learned the god of thunder. Flying thunder god. The column couldn't help but startled. He blinked, and looked at the breeze, and then looked at the door. He suddenly remembered. I've bragged to myself more than once in the interim. How exaggerated the difficulty of flying thunder god's technique is. How powerful is the technique of flying thunder god? Senna, who had already opened the kaleidoscope to right round eyes, was met by himself and killed instantly. Hefeng has now learned the art of flying thunder god. Isn't it a good thing? Is there anything depressing in this room? But then again, it is indeed quite amazing that Hefeng learns the art of flying thunder god so quickly. No, it's amazing. It's not as simple as you think. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. He took a breath from the corner of his mouth, and as the pillars appeared, his mood eased a lot. Hefeng improved this ninjutsu on the basis of my flying thunder god technique. Not only has the flying thunder god mark turned into words, but the speed is above me. Do you know what this means? This means, the fastest ninja in Konoha village is a 7-year-old kid. Stand up from the ground with a sigh of relief. Even if Hefeng is his grandson, he can hardly accept this fact. This kind of talent is so abnormal that he looks like a monster. It has simply subverted the cognition of ninjutsu, ninja. The most important thing is, Hefeng, now the fastest man in Konoha village. Comparing with the wind, it's not just me. There is one in Konoha village. In the field of speed, they are all rubbed against the ground by the gentle wind. Also including you, brother. When the mood between the pillars fell instantly. Moreover, through the description of the door, Zujian realized how unreasonable the current Japanese breeze is. It's not just his own wooden escape. The water escape technique in the door, the technique of shadow avatar. Now, Hefeng is even the skill of flying thunder god, which can be easily learned and surpassed him. Advertisement. If you look at it this way, Hefeng is simply a combination of oneself and Fei. Moreover, Hefeng is only 7 years old this year. He is only 7 years old and possesses such terrifying strength. It is hard to imagine that the Hefeng future will usher in the peak of his heyday. How powerful will the strength be? I really want to compete with the gentle breeze of that time. Not only that, he intervened again. According to the information that Danzo brought back, Hefeng used Kagura's eyes when he was in the country of Nami. This is the Whirlpool clan, and it is also the ability of the Whirlpool clan, very few talents have. Hefeng Have you inherited Mito's ability? Zhu Jian's eyes widened suddenly. He has always known that Hefeng is a genius. And inherited its own excellent genes. But the pillars never thought of it. Gentle, it's so good. Not only the best part of his blood, but also the best part of Mito. Hefeng even inherited it. No, it's not just chakra volume, Mu done. He took a breath between the pillars, feeling shocked. Once a child reaches the age, the growth rate of the body will increase. In the past few months, the body has been growing. His height has increased by at least 5 centimeters, and his features have become more refined. Hefeng has inherited even my handsomeness. Zefeng. Grandpa Zuma, you are also a ninja skill anyway, can you please be more serious? Hefeng couldn't help but complain. However, he doesn't refute that he is handsome. Mainly, he couldn't refute it either. What others are telling is the truth, the truth. If you refute, aren't you lying? No, no, no. Ha ha ha. A hearty laugh broke out between the pillars again, and after listening to the narration, he was in a good mood. And the look in Hefeng's eyes couldn't help but become strange. Not knowing why, he suddenly felt a feeling. A kind of. Hefeng won't be Konoha's first 8-year-old Hokage, right? Chapter 153. In the meantime, do you really not consider having a baby? 4 more. Advertisement. Noting the change in Feijian's expression, Zujian couldn't help but yelled his name, Feijian. Don't bother me, let me calm down. Said without thinking about it. 8-year-old Hokage. After this thought emerged from the thoughts in the interim, he felt that he could not get rid of it. Until now, he has been ignorant. When he was only 7 years old, he mastered Mu Dun, Kagura Hard Eyes, Muji Healing, the art of Flying Thunder God, 8-door Dun Jaw, Helix Pills, and Weird Power. I am a 6 Dao immortal. What kind of monster is this? The grandson of the eldest brother Zujian is simply too ridiculous. You know, all these achievements were made when Hefeng was 7 years old. Simply incomprehensible. What kind of time management master is Hefeng? With so many abilities, he is proficient in everything. It's just creepy. Moreover, none of the ninjutsu in it can be easily mastered by ordinary ninjas. Now, these ninjutsu, all concentrated on one person. And, that person is only 7 years old this year. At this moment, I feel that my cognition of this world has completely collapsed. He wants to blow up, you know. Gentlemanship. This Nima is outrageous. And Hefeng hasn't ushered in his heyday, far from it. If Hefeng is given some more time, how far can he grow? I can't imagine it. There is still 8-year-old Hokage. Fei Jian suddenly recalled what he had said to Zhu Jian. At that time, he had sworn in front of the pillars. He says, within 10 years, the breeze must be Hokage. The key point is not 10 years, not 10 years. This means that the breeze is likely to take a shorter time. For example, in 7 or 5 years, he will become the Hokage of Konoha village. However, just a moment ago, one kind suddenly emerged. It doesn't seem to take that long for a gentle breeze. With his current growth rate, if he continues to maintain it, it won't be a year. He can become Hokage. Although in everyone's mind, he is already the 2nd generation of Hokage. Even Feijian himself thinks so. However, there has not yet been a ceremony to inherit Naruto. Advertisement. Especially the daimyo of the country of fire, he still thinks that the pillar is Hokage. This means that the true 2nd generation Hokage. In fact, it hasn't really been born yet. 1 year. After a year of the wind, maybe it can really hit the Naruto position. If you change to a second person, you won't have such an outrageous idea. What day cut, Danzo, Mirror. They are all unworthy. But the gentle breeze may work. In 1 year, it has become the recognized Hokage. Big brother, what do you think? Fei Jian took a deep breath and asked towards the pillars. 1 year. I have to say that the pillars were stunned on the spot by the boldness of the door. Only 10 years before what he said before, the pillars felt ridiculous enough. Good guys. Now directly turn 10 years into 1 year. Well, this does not mean that Hefeng will become the first Konoha in history. 8-year-old Hokage. It's too ridiculous. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Zuma stared at Fuma, and just wanted to refute it, the words stopped. He looked at Hefeng. Is it a year? You know, it took only 4 months from the contact training to the present, and it took Hefeng to be promoted from the lower ninja to the special upper ninja. And, have the strength of Shangren. Rijin, Danzo, and Mirror, these high-quality seeds carefully selected by the door, are not the opponents of the gentle style. Golden horns and silver horns, Ghost Light's magical moon. These strong men also died in Hefeng's hands one after another. The 8-year-old Konoha Hokage. His mouth opened between the pillars, his pupils dilated, and his spirit suddenly rose. I think it's not impossible. After all, the daimyo has not officially appointed the 2nd generation of Hokage. If Hefeng really did it, does this count as refreshing Konoha? Do not. Does this count as breaking the ninja world record? Hefeng is not only in history, and even in the next decades, hundreds of years, there will be no monsters like Hefeng. At the age of 8, he has become a shadow that surpasses tens of thousands of ninjas. Presumably, for thousands of years, only Hefeng can do it. Yes, it is. Advertisement. Today's Zujian, I saw from Hefeng. Naruto. My grandson between the pillars has the capital of Hokage. If you think about it, it's yourself, Uchiha Madara. At the age of 7, did you compare with the wind? It's not comparable at all. The gap is too big, okay. Don't say 7 years old. It was when I was 15 years old. It's still a world of difference. If Hefeng was born in their time, Zujian even felt that the Warring States period would very likely be over 10 or 20 years in advance. And this monster turned out to be his grandson. It's incredible. Far room. Thinking of this, Between the Pillars took a deep breath, and he passed Tsunade in his arms. Between the door. Although he didn't know what the eldest brother Zuma meant, he still honestly caught Tsunade and looked at Zuma with a puzzled expression on his face. Immediately after, it was clearly seen from the door, on the face of his elder brother Zujian. A very proud expression emerged. His eyes were piercing and gleaming. The column slowly raised his hand and patted the shoulder of the door. Fang Jian, I have a word in my heart now, I don't know if I should tell you. Translated, I have a sentence, I don't know if it should be said or not. Huh, what are you talking about? Feijian couldn't help frowning, feeling that the eldest brother Zujian had become a little strange. What do you think of the gentle breeze? The world is shocking and terrifying, and it's unique. Such an adjective immediately thought of it. In his opinion, it is not only the ninja world of the past, even the ninja world of the future. There will be no more monsters that are as terrifying as a gentle breeze. It's just that the eldest brother is very good at it. Ask yourself why. Ahem. He cleared his throat between the pillars. I think, Janjian, you are not too young now, you really don't think about it. Have a baby. Look at the Japanese style, how good it is. My current sense of accomplishment and satisfaction, not to mention how high it is. So, in the interim, do you really not think about having a baby? I think the Uchiha clan is good. As long as you say something, I will ask your sister-in-law Mito to help you propose marriage. Well, if the Uchiha clan can't do it, there are also the girls from the Uzumaki clan. The girl from the Whirlpool family is really good, not only looks good, but also. Suddenly, seeing Feijian's expression in the column became a little strange, and he quickly changed girls from several houses. Also, the girls from the mountain and the Hyuga family are also good, and Big Brother suddenly became furious. You shut up. Chapter 154 Challenge Senjujuma. 5 more. Advertisement. When the mood between the pillars fell instantly. Between the door, I also did it for your own good. The thought of being lonely in Feijian makes Zujian feel uneasy. Especially since I have a terminal illness now, this feeling is even stronger. He hopes that there will be a home of his own. A destination. People from the Uchiha clan are very suitable. However, after coming down several times, he still couldn't persuade him. I don't need to worry about this matter. Jian said in an angry tone. I have my own thoughts about whether I will get married or have children. He is not a 7-year-old kid now. There is no need for interference between the columns. Fine. Seeing that Feijian was reluctant to talk about this, Shijian simply stopped the topic. However, just when the pillars were about to propose to go back, an idea suddenly came into his mind. The pillar turned his head and looked at the gentle breeze standing aside. Although I may not be able to live until the heyday of the heyday, I can at least play with the heyday at this time. The pillars suddenly lit up. Although Hefeng is only 7 years old this year, his strength should not be underestimated. Become a special shinobu at a young age. In addition, he also defeated such powerhouses as Golden Horn and Silver Horn one after another. With the strength of the gentle wind, he is fully qualified to be his opponent. Since the end of the battle in the Valley of End, I have never played with a ninja again. Because in Zuma's eyes, the entire ninja world had no opponents like Uchiha Madara that he could look forward to. But, Shijian now doesn't think so. The current ninja world has been born, and he is looking forward to a ninja who will fight against him. That is the wind. What's the matter? Hefeng frowned, always feeling that the look in his eyes between the pillars was a bit strange. And, is it too serious for the current column? It's simply not in line with his amusement. And many more, Hefeng suddenly realized. Because the content of the discussion between Zujian and Feijian is whether he can become Konoha Hokage when he is 8 years old. Although the whole process let Hefeng listen in a daze. But judging from the content of their personal conversations. These two Hokage, but they look good on themselves. Advertisement. The expression between the pillars is so serious now. Isn't he thinking that he should be Hokage now, right? No way, no way. Being Hokage won't be so easy, right? Hefeng, do you want to fight with me? The corners of the mouth between the pillars rose, and a smile appeared. He spread his hands and asked Hefeng. Suddenly, the person on the side stood blankly on the spot, seriously doubting whether he had hallucinations. What did the eldest brother just say? He even asked the 7-year-old Zefeng if he wanted to fight him. What a joke. No, brother is not joking. After blinking his eyes, he noticed that although his eldest brother Zujian said this with a smile, his eyes were extremely serious. Today's pillars are serious. He wants to play with the wind. Bang bang bang. Tsunade in Fuji's arms clapped his little hands even more, as if he would fight quickly. Really, it's not too big to watch the excitement. Hefeng was stunned on the spot. He didn't expect that the always amused pillar would suddenly ask himself this question. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Do you want to fight with him? There is no doubt that in this era, the pillars are almost the ceiling of the entire ninja world. The first person under the 6 realms. Anyone who has seen his strength will call him the god of ninjas. And so, you asked Hefeng if he wanted to fight Senjujuma, such a top powerhouse. How could I not want to? Even if it's just a discussion, this kind of thing is not common. Especially now that the column is suffering from a terminal illness, he spends most of his time recovering his body. If you miss this time, I'm afraid there will be no chance in the future. Hefeng's eyes narrowed slightly, and he began to take a deep breath, adjusting his emotions. Miss you. There was a gentle breeze, and with an extremely serious tone, he responded to the pillars. And the breeze is ready to face the pillars here. Ha ha ha. Seeing Hefeng's simple and rude answer, the pillars couldn't help but let out a hearty laugh. If Hefeng is afraid of his own power, or because of his identity, he dare not fight with himself. Between the pillars will be really disappointed. On the contrary, dare to challenge yourself, the god of ninjas. Advertisement. It proves that he has a strong heart. This undoubtedly made the pillars feel happy. Although this is just a whim of his own whim, but from the actual combat, the peaceful wind will undoubtedly produce huge gains. In the interim, step back, Zuma said to the side door, beckoning him not to disturb his fight with Hefeng. However, this sudden decision between the pillars was unexpected. He stared at the pillars with an incredible look. Big brother. However, as soon as Feijian opened her mouth, she was ready to persuade Zujian not to fight with the wind. It was not that he was worried that the terrifying strength between the pillars would cause a psychological shadow on Hefeng. On the contrary, from the perspective of Feijian, when he was at his age, he suffered a few blows. In fact, it is not a bad thing. Otherwise, because of his talent and strength, he will become arrogant and defiant. Even if the pillars do not do this, he plans to find a suitable opportunity. Fight against the breeze. What really worries Feijian is actually the body between the pillars. Now he is terminally ill, and every time he uses chakra, he will put a burden on his body. And the drugs he developed for him can only extend his life. There is no way to heal the pillars fundamentally. But where does this kind of thing need to be reminded? Can he not understand his physical condition in the first place? It's just that there are some things that he, as a grandfather, must do. Apart from Konoha following the wind, no other person would use Mudun. In other words, the only person who can guide Hefeng Mudun is himself. This actual battle will benefit Hefeng for life. This can be regarded as my grandfather, who can help Hefeng the most. On the other hand, between the pillars, I didn't want to leave any regrets. He understands that his body has developed to that point. At the peak of the heyday of the wind, there is a high probability that you will not see it for the rest of your life. But at least, before he died, how could he fight with Hefeng once? So, between the pillars began to untie Haori's belt. After all, wearing this kind of clothes is not suitable for fighting. Big brother. Although Feijian still hoped that Zujian could be cautious, he could only choose to support it after seeing that Zujian's heart had been resolved. Soon, Haori took off between the pillars, revealing strong muscles. Judging from the physical condition, I really can't see that the pillars seem to be terminally ill. Come on, gentle. Chapter 155. Is Hefeng really only 7 years old? One more. Advertisement. Since returning from Poland, the mood of Sarutobi and others changed. Indeed, compared with a genius like Hefeng, it is simply a huge difference. His talent is so terrible that Sarutobi Rishi and others can't help but doubt that their efforts are actually meaningless. No matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you struggle, no matter how hard you sweat, it is impossible for them to catch up with the wind. And with the growth rate of the gentle wind, the gap between them will only get farther and wider. But this is not the reason for them to give up and shrink back. There is only one Zephyr in the entire ninja world. They cannot always perform tasks with Hefeng. And Sun Slash no longer wanted to be so powerless when encountering a ninja like Ghost Lantern Wanu, and he couldn't protect him even with his companions. He wants to become stronger. Become stronger. Even if there is no gentle breeze by your side, you can complete the task brilliantly and protect your companions. And people who think this way are not only Sarutobi Rishang. Uchiha Hokage, Danzo, Kaharu, Yan, they all have the same idea. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't catch up with the wind. Then this is not a reason for them to give up their efforts. As a result, they once again gathered together and came to the Konoha exercise site, ready to become stronger through a method that suits them. However, when they arrived here, Sun Zan felt the pillar room, the door room, and the gentle chakra. This situation did not occur to him. On the one hand, it is out of curiosity. On the other hand, it was out of curiosity. After some hesitation, he took a step in the direction of perceiving chakra. Others followed Rijin one after another. In a short while, they walked through the woods near the exercise site and saw the doorway. But, Rijin and others did not go out directly. When he saw it, he squatted decisively. Others followed suit. Master Feijian, Master Zujian, and the gentle breeze, what's going on? Xiaochun blinked, wondering why they gathered here. Moreover, there was a little girl in the arms of the adult. It's probably teaching Japanese ninjutsu, right? Danzo's eyes narrowed slightly as he guessed. Hefeng is the grandson of Zujian. And he has an amazing talent in itself. If you change to yourself, you will definitely regard Hefeng as your future Hokage cultivation. Teach Japanese style when it's okay. Naturally, it is a reasonable thing. Just advertisement. Although Danzo thought so, he was still very jealous in his heart. Why did Hefeng end when he was born? And no matter how hard others work, it is still an end that can't be reached. For a time, Danzo was very depressed. Why didn't I be born in Senshu's family? Damn it. If you also have intercolumnar cells, you can also use Mu Dun. He can also become Hokage. Danzang's heart is hard to settle. The Uchiha mirror beside him directly opened the writing wheel. Using the ability of writing round eyes, start to read lips. Soon, Uchiha mirror's pupils began to dilate, and a surprised expression was written on his face. Others stared into the mirror, wondering why he showed such an expression. Lord between the pillars, what did you say? Will the mirror suddenly become like this? Master between the pillars, Uchiha Kami took a deep breath. As a genius of the Uchiha clan, his writing wheel has been trained to a very strong point. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Lip reading is the most basic ability. He can never be mistaken. It was just the words between the pillars that shocked the mirror too much. Sir, what did he say? Sarutobi Hero couldn't help frowning. In order not to let Master Shujian, Master Zujian found himself. So they didn't dare to get too close. Coupled with the breeze blowing the woods. I can't hear clearly what is said between the pillars. Master between the pillars, he said, he wants to fight against the wind. It's not a discussion, not a guide, instead, duel. As soon as these words came out, the audience was in an uproar. Rizhin, Xiaochun, Yan, Danzang. Their mood is like a sea swept by a tornado, and they can't calm down. This day, is it finally here, a contest between the breeze and the pillars. But, Hefeng is only 7 years old. Rizhin was unacceptable in his heart. Hefeng is only 7 years old. Advertisement. At the age of 7, you can have a head-on confrontation with the pillars of the god of ninja. This is too exaggerated. Yes, it is. Mirror nodded. Not only that, but also, this duel was initiated by Lord Zhu. What? Everyone was shocked again. This duel was not a challenge initiated by Feng Shangzu. But, Lord between the pillars, are you asking for it? This is not the same as saying. In the heart of Master Zujian, does Hefeng already have the strength to fight him? Otherwise, how could he ask for peace to start a duel with himself? Hefeng, he's only 7 years old. Yan showed an incredible expression, he seriously suspected that he had hallucinations. However, the feedback from his partners proved that he has no hallucinations. Hefeng is indeed 7 years old this year. And got the approval between the columns. Even the top powerhouse who ended the Warring States period and established Shinobu Village. I can't wait to fight against the wind. However, even though Hefeng's talent is shocking to the world, even strong men like Golden Horn and Silver Horn and Ghost Lantern Wanu have lost in his hands. Mirror paused, but Lord between the pillars, but the Hokage that ended the Warring States period and established Shinobu Village. It is said that all people who have seen his strength call him the god of ninjas. Even the old patriarch of our clan, Uchiha Madara, lost to Zuma. Although Zhu Jian and Shi Jian tried their best to block information about the Battle of End Valley, even Uchiha Madara's body was not returned to the Uchiha clan. But through some clues, the Uchiha clan still guessed the truth. At the same time, it also made them extremely dissatisfied with the practice of the door. Some people even started to inherit Madara's will. Therefore, as a mirror of the Uchiha clan, I understand part of this aspect. However, his words were sneered at by Danzo. After all, Uchiha Madara isn't that great, right? Danzo couldn't help but complain. In his opinion, Madara's talent is not even better than a mirror. If he and Bansheng were in the same era, maybe he couldn't even compare to himself. Jing glanced at Danzo, but just when he was about to counterattack Danzo. The action of taking off Yori between the pillars attracted his attention. Grunt. Several of them rolled their throats at the same time, swallowed, and their hearts became tense. Hefeng accepted this duel. The mirror said the result of lip reading. For a while, everyone was engrossed, staring at each other without daring to breathe. It's just that they didn't notice that strange guys were mixed in this forest.